Go.
You really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Hey, motherfucker. What you like to do?
Oh, I don't know. Play chess. Screw.
Well, let's play chess.
They give off to Jonathan Taylor. Jump cutting his way close to the goal line. He's in there. Touchdown. I-N-D-Y. Jonathan Taylor.
Wheeler finds Quan from the logo.
Here's Halliburton into the front court. Mishandled it, but gets a shot. Hits it. Hits it.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, here we go, live from the Indiana State Fair. We're at the grandstand location where the Governor's Cup will take place a little bit later on, with a variety of races and the Indiana Standardbred Association and our good friend Tony Renz brings us to you on what has turned out to be a hellaciously awesome Wednesday afternoon in central Indiana, at least last check. I'm looking at it right now. This is not your AccuWeather forecast by any stretch, but damn, we'll take it. It looked like it was going to rain or storm all day, and of course this month of August has super sucked so far. So you just kind of count on the worst, and so far so good. Man, I was out here on Saturday morning shooting a little bit of hoop and having a good time with the Dust Bowl folks over there on the courts, the outdoor courts. That was awesome, too. But this is a new level of awesome. And Tony Renz and company will join us over the course of the afternoon and will further explain the level of importance right here. I know that they had some races, and Jake was out here with Query and company a little bit earlier today. But we're going to settle some scores and championships a little bit later on. And Tony's going to explain. In fact, we have a list of folks that will join us over the course of the afternoon to do just that. So it is official. Keenan Allen is in. Keenan Allen officially. I don't know what that means for me tomorrow. And this is kind of talking to you guys and Caleb back at the studio right now. I know DeForest Buckner is going to join us, but I put out the bat signal a couple of days ago, even though nobody with the Colts could say anything because it wasn't concrete. But I'd love to get Keenan Allen on this show. I'm sure it's going to be up to his discretion and his availability and all that crap, whatever. Like 5 minutes. Hey, how you doing? Hey, why are you here? Hey, that's great. Your relationship with Shane Steichen. Like all the top of my head. In and done and quickly. But I don't know how that's going to affect the situation tomorrow. But we'll be up at Colts camp coming up tomorrow. Drop Light Grand Park, Westfield, joint practice underway with the Falcons. They go back-to-back today and tomorrow. And, of course, coming up on Saturday, that is preseason game number 2. And we're going to be in Touchdown Tab for that, leading you up to preseason game number 2. So all that and then some. And the conversation, and again, playing off of yesterday, there's no real new established ground regarding Keenan Allen, but it does not take a football genius by any stretch to understand that a move like that was going to be necessary. I don't know if that equates to more wins, more possibilities to win, a better team, a better offense. You just look around and you know that it was necessary. There's still some name dudes out there. I don't know if anybody had any interest in Tyreek Hill. I saw where the Texans reportedly lost a wide receiver from their core a little bit earlier, as reported today. I don't know if that means that, all of a sudden guys like Tyreek Hill might get a little bit more interest, or maybe more so than Chase Claypool was here, or Josh Reynolds was here, or, whatever, the not-so-good St. Brown, who also tried out for the Colts earlier this week here. I don't know what that means for them, but I do know this. At the very least, the Colts absolutely had to do what the Colts did, and Keenan Allen is that. It's so funny. Normally, as I mentioned yesterday, you look around at moves in the NFL, and you gauge them. It's a good move. And believe me, that's a good move. Not downplaying it whatsoever. It's a good move if it translates into being a good move. That's what it is. And that's really how we should go about the business. And the translation here, if this is such an important season where jobs are finally on the line, then you need help. And that was the most obvious of the situations on this team in which you need the help. But you can compare different teams in different sports, and all that matters is the winning. It is weird to me how everybody wants to treat the WNBA and the Fever differently. And I've said this all along, and I say this in videos, but you should see the video regarding Stephanie Watt a couple of days ago, man. People are, like this. Hey, Caleb, am I on you? That's how they are at me right there. They're, I'm mad. See, and what you're mad about, you're not mad about the things that matter. Now, granted, I'm with you on the missteps and the non-backing up of personnel of your players. But as I mentioned last week, when you double back and you took care of that, and then the players came out and backed you on it, I'm sorry, you can still have your opinion, please do, but it's really no longer open for debate. It should be put to bed. The problem is, you guys, I shouldn't say, if you're not this, then you're not a part of the pointed argument I'm making right now. But there are a lot of you guys out there that are just working on nothing but agendas. And you have been dictated the agenda in which you feel like you should go after or that you want to tackle, the reason why you're critical. I've been around here long enough to know this, and I'll be around here a lot longer, I'm sure, but it would be nice if anything, and I mean anything would coincide with some winning. And frankly, you can judge all this, but that is the ultimate. I said to a friend of mine the other day who responded, regarding this, and it's weird. This is like the only sport that we follow to where ultimately to you winning's not going to be enough. I guarantee you Caitlin Clark's not coaching this team. And if Caitlin Clark were coaching this team, Caitlin Clark would coach herself not to turn it over as much as she does. You want to know why? Because she looks in the mirror and she takes ownership of mistakes. That's what makes you an elite level player. That's part of the process. Yeah, sure, you can work hard every day. You can be focused on your craft, work harder than everybody else. I mean, all that happy horse bleep right there, that's great. But at the same time, when you make mistakes, you take ownership of those mistakes. Fernando Mendoza said it yesterday, and everybody was giggling and laughing about how this guy sounds weird and we got to change him and it's all performative. No, it's not performative. That's how he's gotten along. How he's made himself a number one overall selection, a NCAA National Football Championship quarterback, a Heisman Trophy winner. That's what he's made himself into. And right at the top of that list is self-evaluation, taking ownership of mistakes, learning from those mistakes. That's what happens. That's what happens, especially to those that are elite level. And it's just always going to be odd to me that with the Fever in mind, you can get a win last night, 101-95, and you can look up and down and the season Kelsey Mitchell is having, 29 points, 20-plus points, 20 consecutive games, longest streak in a single season in WNBA history. Asia Wilson has the longest streak. I believe that was over a couple of different campaigns. Caitlin Clark was outstanding, 24 points, 4 of 9 from distance, 7 dimes. Still turns it over a little bit too much. And really, if she's going to, and she will, watch the tape, she'll wonder why, all right, so I'm going to go behind my back right here. Why did I dribble this off the back of my foot out of bounds in situations? In situations you can get away with against Toronto, but others maybe not. But one of the reasons why she's the lead is because of that self-ownership and the evaluation of what you do. But evidently for some, it's just not going to be enough. And it's never going to be enough for the head coach. And I've had this thing pegged from the outset. Has she made mistakes? Yes, much like the WNBA has made mistakes. There's no doubt about it. But again, winning should be what you're all about at this point. If you're all about something else, then sports-wise, you're not real to me. If you're all about the other crap and not about the winning, then you're not real to me. Then you're not allowed to make comments about the past 10 now years with the Colts, where you tell me it's all about winning. So, now all of a sudden, just because it's not the Colts, it's not. Nah, that doesn't flow with me. That's problematic. Now, you take the lead of what somebody else has said and just kind of run with all of these different agendas. The hell with the agendas. It's about what your team does. And, again, the ultimate judge of this is not how, you respond or, how you get angry and shake your fist in a pregame presser last week if you're Stephanie White. The ultimate judge is how did this team do compared to how it should? Because you are offensively having a season that nobody's ever seen. You have a backcourt that nobody has ever seen. So if you fall short, that's how you're going to be judged. And that's how you should be judged. It's just odd that many cannot draw that particular conclusion. But I know a lot of you want to suggest that they should have won by more than just 6 points, whatever it was last night, 101-95. But they consistently put up 90 to 100, go over 100. That is impressive. And it is so much, once again, just like these Pacer teams that you fell in love with the past couple of years. And really, it was the Pacer team the year prior to the 7th game of the NBA Finals and the Halliburton injury. It was that team when we were wondering, man, if you could just provide just a little bit of resistance, it will all be good. And occasionally they would. Most of the time they wouldn't. And I've often said this, when their best player, Tyrese Halliburton, realizes that he has to buckle down and get after it a little bit more defensively. And he cannot be so easily compromised at the point of attack. I'm not talking about ball screens or anything like that. I'm just talking about a step to the left and step to the right. These guys are ultra talented. But you always had Miles Turner to be there to, at the very least, if not erase it, be a threat to challenge somebody going in as they form a layup line. And that's exactly the way that it was going back. Not the season before last, but the season prior to that with the Pacers. And for young players, and especially high-level young players, and I think this also accompanies that, you have to be incredibly smart. You have to be savvy. That's not also lost on me at all in this equation, is how bright you have to be, how good you have to be. All these things that are built in to your drive, but you have to recognize it. And part of that recognition is the understanding that you go through practice after practice, working out on your own, game-wise. You have to recognize the flaws in your situation, the flaws in your system, and the way you do your work on that, and you make up for that. That's what we'll watch for, and I think in a large part, that's what we've seen with the Fever. It's weird. I know that some of you are still very uncomfortable with the Fever once they get a big lead. And again, that's how we felt with the Pacers too. But I feel a lot more comfortable with the way that they're playing all the way around. And I know part of it is I'm a little bit angled because I love the philosophy of your best defense is an elite level offense. I love that. Now, that's because not a lot of us really dig on playing defense, sure as hell not playing it or watching it. But the fact remains, you have to get to a certain level defensively to get to that championship level. And that's what the Fever, I believe, are continuing to chase right now. There are some categories with this team that you still have to get better. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, whether you're Caitlin Clark or the team altogether, you still turn it over way too much, and you've got to sidestep that. You got to get better there. But a lot of areas, the sense of resistance that I'm talking about defensively, you can still improve on that. The fouling certainly has improved. But the advantage that they have is so much like the Pacers, to where you get out and you run, and you can say as much as you want. I love playing this brand, this style of basketball, and then you're faced with having to play that level. Good luck with it. And you're playing a team that's used to it. These ladies are used to it. The Pacers were used to it. Teams that you don't see all that often, even if you're in the Eastern Conference. Just a handful of games. Western teams. And, man, you're on a Tuesday or a Wednesday night in the middle of an NBA or a WNBA season, and all of a sudden, you are forced into Scotiabank Arena, and they're 19-3 in there looking down on you, and that pace is ramped up. Hello, Cottonmouth. That's just such, to me, a tremendous advantage for the Fever, like it was for the Pacers. Now, you have to get, as I mentioned, you got to get better defensively. But when you start with your offense being a great defensive weapon, because teams know that you got to keep up the pace, you got to keep up the scoring, and you're probably going to have to get something from others on that floor that you would not necessarily get. Incredibly impressive to me. We can hit that if you like. The Fever a winner last night, and they are humming right now. On the road in Dallas coming up next. I think the whole insertion of Timpson into the starting lineup has also helped too, because it's kind of somebody that doesn't necessarily need the basketball, but will go and get the basketball. And that is part of what is necessary. 6-0 when she starts on the season. That's the Fever. Sophie Cunningham had 13 points, 3 for 3 from distance. Also some words regarding the future of the WNBA. This is something we all know. And I know you're going to say, well, wait a minute, you don't think that they need new leadership for the Fever when you're suggesting the WNBA needs new leadership. No, because the Fever, a lot of you want to say, well, they would play this well anyway. Well, maybe so, but Stephanie White has done a good job with this team, especially recently. Kathy Engelbert is not long for that position, because there is going to be a shelf life on this. There's going to be a shelf life on this entertainment, just like you think of it from this angle. We are approaching a time to where this dialogue is going to be secondary, and a lot of you are going, God, hallelujah. But a lot of this dialogue is going to be secondary. With the NFL and college football starting, it just will be. And simply put, this league has not taken advantage. It's taken a lot more hits than it has advantage of the situations in which it's been given. And it's easy to understand. The 19-3 last night in Toronto at Scotiabank. American Airlines Arena up next in Dallas. They probably play in some Longhorn cattle barn probably down there most of the time, don't they, Caleb? Hell, I don't even know where the Wings play.
A Longhorn cattle barn.
Do they play in some cattle barn down in Dallas normally when the Fever are out there? When the Fever come to town, you go to a new place than what you normally do.
It is
That's
true.
Just the way that it is. What do they – yeah. So that's something that you only have a short shelf life to take advantage of. And – they need new leadership, and Sophie Cunningham is, I think her quote was, bold commissioner. I guess bold. I don't know in terms of bold. Bold who wants the best for the players and not maybe for themselves. But either way, this has not worked, and it's not going to work, and there's going to have to be something done with that in mind. So Sophie Cunningham is not wrong, and not wrong at all about that aspect. All right, we can hit that and more at 239-1070. 317-239-1070 on the text line. I can see you working right here. The grandstand of the Indiana State Fair, the Indiana Standardbred Horse Association. I think I got that right. Tony Renz is going to join us coming up in a bit. We have the Governor's Cup we're going to be talking about as well. Caleb Zuver is back at the studio. How are things going there without me today? Everything holding strong.
Hey,
all good.
I'm not going to see you probably until Sunday at this point because you're going to be gone.
They're going to try to hustle. Yeah, they're going to try to hustle my ass for this meeting tomorrow. I don't know how the hell I'm going to do it at 1 o'clock when I got to be up there. Well, and the problem is going to be that's a joint practice, and that place is going to be packed coming up tomorrow, man. I can't be going up there at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Well,
Come on.
I know. So we'll see what happens there. So maybe I guess I will see you tomorrow. But, yeah, man, holding it down over here. We got a loaded show today. Lots of guests moving in and out, but I'm excited.
No doubt about that. All right, a couple of those. I mentioned John Nolan, the voice of the Fever, is going to join us coming up a little bit later on. Tony Renz is going to join us as well. He's going to set exactly what we're going to witness out here, and we'll be talking about over the course of the afternoon here at the Indiana State Fair. Tony's going to join us coming up, I believe, at the bottom of the hour. Tony's going to rejoin us coming up on Friday on a road show, which will be absolutely outstanding. I'll explain that, and Tony and I will get into it coming up here at the bottom of the hour as well. So we got a lot of guests here at the State Fair, and again, got a lot going on in terms of the Governor's Cup. We shall explain. And some harness racing has already gone on out here and is getting set to get underway once again. And did I read this accurately? Is it David Koechner is going to join us, correct?
That's correct.
The actor, the comedian? Do you know who that is? Before you were told he was coming on the show, did you know who David Koechner was?
I don't know if this is backwards. I didn't know the name, but I knew the face.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Name, you knew the name, but not the face.
No, other way around. I knew the face, but not the name.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So when you told
me
who
I think
it
the
was,
name stands out.
Yeah.
I think the name stands. There's no way this guy hasn't gone through life with people mispronouncing his name every day. No way.
Yeah, except me. But yeah, so it should be fun to have. He's performing Friday night at the Helium. So.
Yeah, Helium Comedy Club. And Dave Koechner's been on the show before. If you remember, he was a big part of Anchorman. Both Anchormans as a part of Champ, the sports guy. A number of movies. Will Ferrell, best friend, we know all about that too. But what's interesting is, like many of his contemporaries, he went through Second City and the Olympic comedy group in Chicago, Illinois. And if you look back on some of those former members, it is like a who's who of comedic film and stand-up for decades. And he was a part of that. He was, I believe, the first season Will Ferrell was on SNL. Was that 95, I believe? 95 or 96. He was a part of that, too. And I believe being from Tipton, Missouri, which is on the southwestern side of the state, past Columbia, I'm assuming that much like the Paul Rudds of the world and Jason Sudeikis, also have been a part of the same films, but I'm assuming that much like those two, he is also a Kansas City Chiefs fan. And that Sunday night are on the road in week number 2. And Kansas City Chiefs conversation, I'm sure, with Dave Koechner, who joins us coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Other than that, a lot of me and a lot of you at 239-1070. If you guys want to chime in, you can do that. 317-239-1070 on the text line. I shall read those two. It is a busy show. And the Colts in joint practices with the Falcons, Matt Taylor and I, instead of doing the normal Colts update, he and I are going to yak it up coming up here in the 6 o'clock hour as well. And then I'll be up there coming up tomorrow. And I know this to be certain, that I know that DeForest Buckner is going to join the show. I don't know if we can get Keenan Allen, but we are sure as hell going to try, as that's going to be my one and only venture at Drop Light up in Westfield at Grant Park coming up tomorrow. And then on Friday on the road, all that and more we'll explain. I've got tickets for you, too. Deep Purple in Kansas. That's next Monday at Everwise. And my good friend Matt Goins, keep it in mind, too. AAA's got great deals going on for the State Fair. AAA.com. But my good friend, who is the prez of AAA, Matt Goins, has given me tickets to give away for you to an incredible rock show. I'll give you a chance to win those a little bit later on as well. So sit tight on that. The Fever from last night, Keenan Allen with the Colts. That is official. A look around the NFL. The Texans a bit compromised with a wide receiver injury as well. We got that and more coming up live from the Indiana State Fair. The grandstand's our location. Do not go anywhere. Got us all hooked up until, well, not even 6 o'clock, but with Matt Taylor going after 6 o'clock on a Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. It's 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Hey, John, for Big Red Liquors, it powers the JMV Takeover. Everybody, have you heard about it? Of course, the All Request Saturday Night JMV Takeover on B105.7. But it also makes sure that the rest of your week and your weekend is top-notch. If I've taught you anything in our lives together, it is when you throw a party, not to be BYOB dude. No, you're the host. And the host provides, and the host knows that Big Red Liquors has exactly the type of support that is necessary for you to throw the greatest party of all time. Big Red Liquors, 100-plus locations, great deals, all the beers you're looking for right now, and, of course, those from the Heaven Hill Distillery label as well. Just like Elijah Craig, just like Larson, just like Evan Williams, you're going to find those in the great deals, so you don't have to even think about being BYOB, dude. You can be the host with the most. Courtesy of Big Red Liquors, 100-plus locations, state of Indiana, one near you, 19 new in and around Indianapolis, and, of course, it powers the JMV Takeover every Saturday night on B105.7. To find that location nearest you, quite simple, BigRedLiquors.com.
The Ride with JMV.
Dude, most metal.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
It's been a little bit of back and forth. Just me and him personally without the agent. Jake's my guy. We talk every season. Throughout the season, we always we exchange some clips or something like that. So.
But this time it was like, would you like to come up play for the Colts?
Yeah.
So I guess he said something funny right there. I didn't. Hey, Caleb, what did he say that was funny? Everybody giggled.
Chap asked him. He said, "Was this signing wherever you're going to sign? Was it always going to be with the Colts?" And he kind of went, "Yeah." So that's Keenan Allen talking today.
Keenan Allen talking right there, and he said, "The Colts." His choice. We'll see. I'm going to be at Colts Camp Droplight in Westfield coming up tomorrow at Grant Park. I know that DeForest Buckner's on the show, but, I mean, what the hell? We can do a couple of former Pac-12 dudes, right? One from Cal, the other from Oregon, former Pac-12s tomorrow, DeForest Buckner, Keenan Allen. That's what I say. We'll see if that works out. I know we're going to get one for sure when we are up there. Hey, we are back at the Indiana State Fair in the grandstand right now. And, of course, the Governor's Cup is our focus today. Let me introduce our guest with David Koechner, by the way, the actor-comedian coming up at the top of the hour. But joining us, Tony Renz, you know this voice. Tony Renz, the executive director of the Indiana Standard Bread Association. Buddy, good to have you back on board.
Always great to be with you,
We're going to
John.
see you again coming up on Friday when the drinks are going to be flowing. We know that to be sure.
Our buddy Brent.
Oh, I cannot wait. We're going to be at Taylor's Pub, Bar and Table. Table and Bar. Which one is it? Bar and Table?
Table and Bar.
Is table first or bar? I always
it's
ask Kyle, and I never know which one's first.
I just need to know where the bar's at.
Under the Table, JMV, and Bar is what we're going to say right there. And Rick Uppel is here. He is the voice of harness racing from Canada, correct?
Correct.
Vancouver, Canada?
Yes, born and raised.
All right. Let's talk some beers first before we get into this right here. What's your favorite Canadian beer, Rick?
Molson's, I guess.
Molson?
It doesn't matter what kind either.
Molson Golden?
Sure.
You like that?
Sure.
Molson Ultra, 70 calories, and I dig it, but you can only get it in Canada.
True.
Now, are you from Vancouver originally, correct?
Yes.
So are you a Canucks fan? No?
No.
You don't. Are you a hockey person? At all?
Yeah, I used to do play-by-play on the radio.
For?
Junior A hockey, New Westminster Bruins.
Oh, really? Was that like you ever see the movie Youngblood? Is that kind of like the movie Youngblood?
I haven't
with
seen
Rob
the
Lowe?
movie. Haven't seen the movie, but it's the
very
step below,
slapshot-ish?
it's step below the NHL.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's awesome right there.
Yeah.
Now, do you ever do any play-by-play for any future NHL stars?
Many.
Let's hear them.
Okay.
Name 'em.
When I first started out, I was 21. I worked for the New Westminster Bruins for a couple of years. Bill Ranford, if you remember him. Now, I'm old. So
Okay.
I'm going back.
That's okay.
I can throw out other names. Grant Fuhr.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
my. Yeah.
We played against Wayne Gretzky when he was in the WHA.
And Wayne Gretzky famously was here.
Yeah,
back
exactly.
in the day
Right.
with the Racers.
And that would have been with the yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Yep. Who else? Scott Stevens, Brian Bellows, Dale Howard-Chuck. The list goes on.
That is a good list of
Yes.
greatness.
Yes.
That is former players right there. All right, Tony, let's start here. I mean, Rick's here for a reason because he's got a job to do coming up later on and already has done it today. What do we got going on here at the State Fair?
You've got the culmination of a lot of years of hard work in the last 3 months, a lot of racing and county fair sites, Hoosier Park. We even had a stop of county fairs come there. And all these horses have gained points. These are all Indiana sired. They come here, and this is the best of the best. This is the Governor's Cup Championship. They're racing. It's 8 races, each of them for $25,000 purse, and they represent the best of the county fair system.
So, Rick, the key to being the play-by-play guy in this case, or the race call here, what's the key to that in harness racing?
Concentration, focus, and then you got to get familiar with them after a while. They're not always the same horses, but they're pretty close to it. And just basically concentrating on memorizing. Some people said I've had a photographic memory for a long time.
Well,
that helps.
Do you? Well, and I need that too because I don't. Now, I have a good long term. My short term sucks.
Right.
That's probably like if you were to give me a combination to a locker right now, I'd forget it. But I could probably remember my combination back in 1983, which is weird. But you have that relationship, and you also, I guess, have to be a lover of forms of horse racing in general.
Oh, absolutely. My parents used to take me to the thoroughbreds when I was 6, 7 years old. My uncle was an actual horse trainer, thoroughbreds. On the West Coast, we never got any harness racing till 1976. And at that point, I went with my cousins to see the races, and we kind of just watched. A couple of years after that, I went for a job there, and I worked my way up from the basement up to the top, and I was at one track for 35 years.
Wow. That is Rick, and obviously he and Tony are here to talk up the Governor's Cup. Tony, a little bit of background on this being the crown jewel. You know, we've talked about this leading up to it, and you talked about all the factors coming into, what is going to be the culmination here at the State Fair. Not only is what made this the crown jewel, but also the years that led into this. And
I don't want to steal too much thunder because
Sure.
you're going to have another guest come on,
Well,
Jessica Barnes.
You can provide a little bit of thunder.
But
yeah.
she gives a really good synopsis of the breeders are breeding these horses. So these horses were bred, the 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
They were bred 3 years ago. And so there's a lot of money that goes in and a lot of faith and risk that go in 3 years ago, hoping that horse is going to end up here today as a 2-year-old.
What are the percentages, guys? Rick, we'll start with you on the horses as you breed them turning into something special, as we'll see.
I'm going to let Rick take that one. Rick's good.
Well, first of all, it's a lot of hard work, and you're hoping when you breed a horse that first of all, the mare's got to catch.
Right.
Then it's got to be a successful delivery. Then you got to worry about the horse, growing up as it goes and being able to make it to even the county fair races, let alone go to Hoosier Park and become what we call a sire stakes horse.
Yeah.
Or breeder's crown. That's very rare. It's very rare.
You had me at the mare has to catch.
Full. The mare gets in full. Let's go with artificial insemination.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is, and people on this show know this as the hen and the sheehan portion of the program right here.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it's the hen and sheehan, the catch, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I just learned a new term right there.
Well, and
that's outstanding.
What's fantastic.
And I'm sure it's an old term that I just now learned that's a new term for me, yeah.
You're going to go home and use it on the wife,
I'm going to use, the mare has to go catch this mare all the time, yeah. Well, I'll use that from here on out. But, yeah, further explain.
What's great about this whole industry is, number one, the athletes, the equine athletes. The horses are beautiful. They're magical. But then you get all these different stories and different people, and they use language like Rick just used, and you have to learn it a little bit. It's a different language. But everyone has a story. Rick's from Canada, and somehow he ends up here in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
I'm from Louisville, and somehow I end up here in Indianapolis. But it's harness racing, it's horse racing that continues to draw outsiders into the state. And once they get into the state, they're digging their roots in, and they're putting their families here, and they're raising their families here, and they're becoming part of the community and part of the impact that is a $2 billion annual impact.
Rick Uppel, again, is the horse racing, harness racing, I should say, announcer. And Tony Renz, you know Tony. I don't think I have to explain Tony's been on this show as much as Tony has been on it. How special are these events to you as the announcer? And then how do you get to know, the owners and those that have stakes in this from the very beginning stages of harness racing?
Well, the wife and I moved here, my daughter, 13 years ago from Washington State. Because when we raced in Canada. I worked in Canada, but I still lived in Washington State because my wife was from Southern California, blah, blah, blah. And when we moved here, the racing was kind of dying on the West Coast. And now, since the 13 years we've been here, that track's closed down. So is the thoroughbred track in the big city, too, Vancouver. So that's kind of disappointing because that's been there forever. The harness racing had a 50-year lease on the property. When that 50 years just came up in 2024 or 5, they shut them down. Now, these people put their sweat and tears are all in this business. Just like these people right here.
Right.
It's a community. That's what it really is.
Right.
We all get along. I know probably 90% of the people because my wife and I, we've had horses over the years too.
It is kind of there's some symmetry there with what we see around here with IndyCar, too. I mean, you still compete against one another, but there's still a great deal of respect for the most part across the board with each team, each driver, each owner, each crew member, so on, so forth.
And just like IndyCar, it's second, third, fourth generation.
Right.
It becomes the family business, and you just keep recycling that.
Yeah.
All right, Rick, tell the folks out there what they cannot miss. Your voice, your call, and what's going to take place here later on today.
Well, we got 8 races coming up starting at 5 o'clock.
Yes.
And there's 8 divisions. You have 2-year-old filly trotters, pacers, 2-year-old colt, pacers, and trotters. And then after those 4 events, we'll have 4 more, which are the 3-year-olds, because that's what the fair circuit is limited to, just 2- and 3-year-old horses.
So how many of these races do you call a year? Not just
this, but somebody's asked me that question a couple of years ago, how many races in all?
Yeah.
Probably 50 to 60,000.
What? That's a
yeah.
Well, how many? In a calendar year for you, Rick.
Okay, a calendar year. Well, I'm just basically semi-retired.
Okay.
I'm semi-retired. The county fair thing kind of came along.
It's a great spot to be in,
Love
pal.
it. Love
yes,
it. Love it. I put a couple of summers together in Ocean City, Maryland.
Yeah.
I got asked to go out there and work, so I did
I've heard
that.
good stories about Ocean City, Maryland
What
in
a
the
place that
summertime,
is.
pal.
What a place that is.
I've heard good stories.
Yeah, and the racetrack there, a little half-mile track, good racing. I've called in Florida. I've called in California.
Where does Indiana compare to these other states?
Oh, Indiana harness racing's in the
booming.
top 2 or 3 in North America. So
like who is above them right now?
Meadowlands, New Jersey was always seen as number 1 and probably still is number 1. However, just announced last week the Hamiltonian Stakes is leaving New Jersey and coming to Indiana in 2027 for a 3-year run, and you don't get bigger than the Hamiltonian Stakes.
Well, we're going to have to get into that a little bit because I saw that news a couple of days ago, Tony, and you're fantastic to explain that. And you start, Rick, today. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
From a horse side perspective,
right.
When Tony says the Meadowlands used to be the mecca of racing. They would race 3-4 times a week. Now they're down to 2 days a week. And our neighbors right here in Kentucky, that's the program that people want. Because they're racing almost year-round. And they have like Oak Grove, the Red Mile, Corbin. It's fantastic racing. The money from these horse slot machines, unbelievable.
You don't sound semi-retired because there's a lot of knowledge in that dome right there, pal. Let me tell you.
I thought I was retiring when I left Canada. And I thought my announcing career was actually over. I really did. I thought, what am I going to do? The wife has horses. She trains them herself. So we kind of, meddled around in that for, 20 years, 30 years. We're getting older. We're slowing down
So where do you live around here?
I live in Middletown.
Oh, so and you live on a horse farm?
No, horse farm.
No.
That's too much work.
Too much work, yeah.
For a guy like me, a city boy.
Okay.
That's too much work. Middletown's about 5 miles from Hoosier Park.
Right.
And my wife and I, we also race there, and our boss is sitting beside you.
I'm your colleague.
Okay, colleague.
Really?
Yeah.
Rick and his wife Cassandra are our horseman's rep.
Okay.
Which is probably one of the most important positions on the backside.
Gotcha.
So he's the liaison between sometimes the track, the commission, and the horseman, and does a fantastic job at it. I'm trying to get him to sign a 10-year contract.
I think that's a good plan right there. The semi-retired guy signing a 10-year deal.
It's pretty good. It's good. My wife knows just as much as I do. So when I leave the track like today, there's races going to go on at Hoosier Park.
Right on.
Well, the wife's on the job today because I'm here at a fair.
There's nothing wrong with that. Hey, by the way, too, Rick, besides hockey, which you've done before, and harness racing, which you do right now, what's your favorite sports out there?
Harness racing's got to be.
Is it?
Yeah. It's just
now,
it's gone into my blood.
Do you keep track of other sports?
Oh, yeah.
Did you get infiltrated by the sport of basketball in this great state?
Being from Canada.
We haven't infested you with the incredible love of basketball?
Well, okay, I don't know if I can say this on your show or not, but I don't really follow the Colts.
You don't? Well, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. I mean, who do you follow? Anybody?
Well, years ago when I was a kid, I followed Broadway Joe.
Okay.
That's who I followed. Then, since I lived in Washington State for 25-plus years.
Jim Zorn.
Steve Largent.
And Zim. Yes. The
Marshawn
Seahawks.
Lynch. M&M's.
Oh, yeah.
Seahawks. Aren't they Super Bowl champions?
They are. Well,
and they should have been. They should have been in 2014 too.
Do you follow the Seahawks still today?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Did you just jump on the bandwagon because?
No. I lived an hour and a half from Seattle.
I will say this, and I don't know if you followed it or not. It doesn't sound like you have because
okay.
you're concentrating on this.
Sure.
But the Seahawks are on HBO's Hard Knocks right now. Right?
Oh, okay.
And Mike McDonald, I said this earlier this week, Mike McDonald, their head coach, is a guy, I can understand why dudes would want to follow that guy.
Yeah.
He looks like a guy that's worthy of following. So
he plays the part on the sidelines for sure.
He does. He looks like he's take no crap, but understanding about some other stuff. And you don't often find that common thread right there. So
did he come from the Patriots organization?
I believe McDonald came from the Ravens. Did he not? Caleb?
Yeah,
Make
he
sure
did.
I believe.
He did.
Yeah, I thought
Okay.
he came from the Ravens as their D coordinator right there. But,
okay, from Harbaugh then. Okay.
Yeah. So no, he just is a guy that I think I can understand why he's a leader, a quality leader of guys because.
And the Seahawks fans, they're tremendous.
They are.
They're absolutely tremendous.
I
went to one game.
Yeah.
But it was in the older building, not in the new field.
You went to the Kingdome instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've blown up. So.
Yeah, they were actually playing the Kansas City Chiefs, and I knew somebody on the Chiefs that was playing. He got his tickets and stuff. But
that is Rick Uppel right there. He is the announcer for Hornets Racing, and his boss is Tony Renz. I gather this, and he's going to sign you a 10-year deal as soon as we're done here.
We're working on it. I might need an agent.
I feel like I'm like the agent right here.
Right in the middle.
You got it. All right, Rick. Great to meet you, pal.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
Rick Uppel is a good dude. Tony's going to rejoin. Tony, you sit tight. We'll talk to you coming up on the other side before we get to the top of the hour. Dave Keckner, the actor, comedian, is going to join us coming up, too. John Nolan also on the show. That is coming up a little bit later on. Keenan Allen, official, met with the media a little bit earlier today. We will be in Westfield coming up tomorrow. I know DeForest Buckner is a part of the show. We'll find out maybe if we can get the brand new Colts. Well, I got that. Thank you very much. The Colts wide receiver coming up on the show tomorrow. We'll see. We'll be up there, though. Quick break. We'll come back. We are live at the Indiana State Fair. Don't go anywhere. 93.5, 107.5, The Fan. Hey, John here for the District Tap. You got two locations, downtown Indy, North Side, Clearwater Crossing. I'm serious. If you want to post up someplace for any of the events, you've got a country music artist going back to back to back to back, beginning on Friday, right? So if you want to post up someplace before you go to that, the damn good food, the happy hour specials, TVs everywhere, that is where you want to go at the District Tap. And, of course, if you want to stay out of the downtown altogether and hang out on the north side, Clearwater Crossing location is the place to be. We're talking damn good food, happy hour specials, live music, and more. To find out what more you can get from the District Tap online, thedistricttap.com. Connecticut Water Systems, Connecticut.com. Get signed up today with my friend Joe so they can come out and test your water. If you don't have Connecticut, you do not have the best water. And I am down with getting you the best. Drinkability, bathability, washability. That is Connecticut Water. They're going to put together a system that is specific for your home water needs. But it starts with a home water test today. Ask for my friend Joe. Tell him I sent you and get signed up today. Absolutely free. That's Connecticut.com.
The Ride with JMV.
If peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
I seen her laying them out. I walked downstairs.
We are back at the Indiana State Fair. This, according to those that are up at Droplight, Grand Park in Westfield. We're going to have to start adjusting that because we hear absolutely every time he puts that headset on. So it sounds like that I'm like crunching up things. Tyler Warren went down in practice today. This is the report according to Joel A. Erickson of the Star. Appeared to be a groin issue. And I think I saw James from the Fan Morning Show on The Athletic describe it as clutching his groin, and not in a good way like I would be describing. Clutching his groin. So a groin issue. Tyler Warren, the Colts tight end, left with a trainer. And I think James also went on to describe that with a noticeable limp. That is a story that we will follow regarding Tyler Warren. Again, there's not much this group can take. That would be something significant beyond belief right there. Again, we'll see. Hopefully everything is going to be okay. But multi-reports, and this is the one from our friend Joel A. Erickson. Tyler Warren down in practice, appeared to be a groin issue. Left with a trainer in what has been described not by Joel but by James Boyd as a noticeable limp. Also with Joel, in addition, DJ Gittens opened practice in uniform, but after individual, he left with a trainer and appeared to be indicating his hamstring was giving him a bit of an issue. And that's what had kept him out the past couple of weeks. We'll follow both of those stories, but especially that of Tyler Warren. Hey, before we hit the top of the hour break, that is Tony Renz back with us right here. Not only later on tonight, the Governor's Cup and all that entails, but on Friday, you and I and Brent Halverson are together again.
We're putting a whole lot of horse racing on you this week, John, but we're going to have a lot of fun doing it.
I cannot wait to do it. I'm just kind of learning. I hope you're okay if I just learn step by step right here, too. One more time, for folks that want to come out and check this out, the weather is fantastic so far. What are they going to see beginning at 5 o'clock today?
5 o'clock, we start with race one. That's 2-year-old Philly Pace, and that's probably going to be one of the best races of the 8. There's a couple fillies in there that have tangled up and really go after each other, and it should be right down to the wire. But you got 8 races. Like Rick talked earlier, all the 2-year-old and 3-year-olds. You got the fillies, the Colts. You got the Pace and the Trot. So you get 8 races. They're all Governor Cup championship races, all race for $25,000. The best of the best. And then what you'll see with a lot of these horses that do succeed here today, they will move on to Hoosier Park, and they'll go into the Parimutuel, which is kind of the professional, from the minor leagues to the major leagues.
Is there wagering on this?
There is not wagering here in Indiana. The legislation does not allow for parimutuel wagering at the county fair circuits. But,
understand.
All you got to do is go 25 minutes up the road,
you know
and
that
you
to be
can
true.
bet them all.
Tony's going to rejoin us coming up in a couple of minutes. He's going to join us coming up on Friday. More on that. A little bit more on the injury situation to Colts tight end Tyler Warren and the continued injury situation with DJ Gittens. We'll get to that coming up. Fever a winner last night. John Nolan, the voice of the Fever, a little bit later on as well. I've got tickets for multi-concerts. I shall explain. Dave Keckner on the other side, the actor-comedian, is going to be in town this weekend. And I believe, I'm going to guess he's probably a Chiefs fan, but we'll go into that with Dave. He was champ and Anchorman. He's going to join us on the other side and hopefully an update regarding what went down, unfortunately, with Tyler Warren. That one concerns me a great deal. We'll, of course, stay on top of it for you. Live from the Indiana State Fair. Don't go anywhere. This is 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
You guys have it, I think.
Afternoon delight.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
David Keckner coming up in a minute. I hope he heard that. I don't know if he was on hold or not. Caleb will tell me when he calls in. Champ, David Keckner, the actor-comedian from most notably both Anchormans, is going to be in town at Helium Comedy Club this weekend. He's been here before. He's been on the show before. He is an excellent dude, and he's going to join us coming up here in just a bit. Now, quick update for you. We will get somebody live from Droplight up in Westfield at Grant Park. The latest from what took place today, and I told you within the last 15 or so minutes, Tyler Warren, Colts tight end, goes down and was clutching his groin area. And this is just all from what those from Kevin Bowen to James Boyd, Joel A. Erickson have observed up there, that it does indeed seem to be a groin situation with the Colts tight end. And I've said this before, there's really nobody you can stand losing. Now, if there's one constant regarding this team, it is that of injury. But Tyler Warren going into year 2, and all that he is going to bring and has to bring, is counted on bringing into this offense. That is something that most notably cannot at all be compromised in any way. So we'll stay on top of that, get you a live update from Westfield coming up in just a bit. In fact, I'll be up there tomorrow for the one and only time we will be doing this show from Westfield. I know that DeForest Buckner is going to be a part of it, and we'll see if we can't get Keenan Allen on here. Keenan Allen was introduced to the media, so it is etched in stone now. The most noted former Charger, and for a season, former Bears wide receiver, and more than likely a future Hall of Famer. At some point, he was signed by the Colts, and the Colts, it was necessary to go after him. We all know their situation. But it was necessary to go out and get another wide receiver. He has a past connection with Shane Steichen, which makes a great deal of sense. And it was something that, regardless of Alec Pierce and whether or not he's going to be ready or what the timetable is on the Colts wide receiver for being back, it was without question that you had to go out and get somebody else. And Keenan Allen was that name that continuously popped up. Had that, again, past relationship with Shane Steichen, and all of it made a great deal of sense. And voila, there you go with Keenan Allen, who met with the media a little bit earlier today. But, again, that news, not good, and we'll follow this and see where it goes. Hopefully there's nothing major going on, but Tyler Warren going down with what has been described as a groin injury situation earlier today is going to be a story that we shall follow. Now, also saw where DJ Giddens, the backup running back, went through individual workouts today, did not participate in the group or the team effort in the combination practice going on for what appears to be a hamstring situation, and that's what he has been dealing with in camp so far. So we'll follow both those stories, but certainly the major story is of that of Tyler Warren with the Colts from a little bit earlier today. We'll get some live updates for you over the course of the afternoon. And again, I should remind you, too, because we're live out here at the Indiana State Fair. Indiana State Fair, the Governor's Cup, and our good friend Tony Renz rejoins us right now. You know, it's funny, the weather, and I was going to ask because I know that Rick was with us a little bit earlier. He's from Middletown. How did everybody do up there weather-wise in and around you, around Harrah's Hoosier Park? Because that was one of the centers of a great deal of pocketed heavy rainfall that led to substantial flooding, in which we're dealing with still today how are things go for you guys up there?
Horse-wise, everything was fine out there. Tragically, you've got, as you go down towards that Mounds Mall down Scatterfield, it was just underwater. And we pray for those people and just hope they get back on their feet and hopefully keep God with them. It was a lot of water that came down in a short time of period.
Yeah, and I know that in and around Madison County was one of those places, and we talked about that around Newcastle, and as you got further over in east central and eastern Indiana to Cambridge City over in Richmond, all dealing with that. And then further down the White River, you had flooding that got into Indianapolis, and then, south along the White River as well. It has been just incredibly awful, which is, one of the major reasons why I always talk about how people around here are always great at making sure others are given that helping hand, which is necessary, and that's exactly what we're doing again. And right now, families in our community, we know this to be true, are still, as Tony had referenced there, facing the devastating effects of flooding, and they need us now more than ever. And Radio 1 here in Indy, Fox 59 and CBS 4 joining the American Red Cross for disaster relief for those affected by the flood. Your donation could help supply safe shelter, meals, emergency supplies, and support as families begin to recover. 1075thefan.com, and this is to help the Heartland. Our stations, our community standing together. Again, 1075thefan.com. to find out how you can help today. But we all know somebody that has been, again, dramatically affected by the floods and the ridiculous rainfall that has been going on in what has been an unprecedented August, especially with the August that I know of the past, normally incredibly dry. You're told not to water your lawn. You can't do that because, we're going through droughts and stuff, and this is an August unlike we have seen.
Did you ever think you'd be sitting out here for Governor Cup Day? I think it was last year or 2 years ago. You and I were out here. It was about 98 degrees.
98 degrees.
And the sun was just beating on us.
And I will take that. A lot of people don't want that, but I will certainly take that over the weather we've been around the past week or so.
Oh, absolutely.
Here.
Absolutely.
It has been very much un-August-like. But as I mentioned, for the Governor's Cup, which the races out here at the State Fair fire up again here today at 5 o'clock, nothing as of yet. It kind of threatens, and then it doesn't, and then it threatens, and it doesn't. And that's also been a pattern weather-wise for us around here for the past month or so.
You know what the key is, John? I'm going to show you the key right here.
I need the key.
Last Wednesday I forgot to bring this, and it rained like crazy on us. If I bring my rain poncho, it doesn't rain.
That's a good idea, too. Well, I brought, and I carried it on my walk from wherever the world I parked over there in the trees somewhere, the old umbrella just in case as well. Once again, I know we're going to have some guests coming up here, so we'll let them explain what we're going to witness starting here at 5. But you and I, Brent Halverson, have a deal coming up on Friday at Taylor's and Ingalls.
And I love Taylor's. The Indiana Standardbred Association, we had a Christmas dinner there about 2 years ago, and I love that place. It's right down the street. Just down the street from Mystic Waters, where, again, in a couple weeks we're back again together.
Yeah, we are, and that's Labor Day weekend vendor at Mystic Waters on a Friday and a Saturday. A Friday here on this show at Mystic Waters, and they all request Saturday night JMV Takeover on the Saturday evening once again at Mystic Waters, brought to you by Evan Williams, and that's who's going to bring us to you. The tavern tours have been fantastic this summer. We picked them up in June, and obviously, we're up in Anderson in the month of July as well. Those have been fantastic.
Absolutely. That Moran's we did was, I still have people talking about that and how much fun they had at that.
And I mention this all the time, too. It's like when we go out and see people, and people can attest to this that are either watching right now on the YouTube feed or the stream or whatever. When we go out, it's always so impactful when you see and talk to folks that absolutely love you being there. They go, oh, wow, we got to go. And those are the ones, the Moran's one of the better ones we've been a part of on the Tavern Tour circuit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really was. And we've been to Taylor's before. We know all about that. And that's going to be me, you, and Brent coming up on Friday.
You got it. Looking forward.
Ingalls, Indiana. All right. I know we got guests coming up here in just a little bit. We'll see if Dave Kechter calls or not. You let me know, Caleb, if that takes place. If not, we'll say this, Caleb, a little show producing right here. If he calls during these interviews, you'll have to move him down the line a little bit because we're going to have people going to join us coming up at about 15 after the top of the hour. So it would have to be around 4:30 or 5 o'clock for him to rejoin us. So just so you know that, Caleb, scheduling-wise for us in the 4 o'clock hour for the show. But again, 5 o'clock, Governor's Cup, and we've got guests coming up here at 4:15, Tony.
Yes, I got 2 young ladies coming up here that are so important to the Indiana horse racing community. They work for the Horse Racing Commission. You're going to love them. You've met one of them, Jessica Barnes.
Yes.
And
she was on with Jake a little bit earlier,
Absolutely.
too.
Yeah, you're going to love these guys.
Oh, well, look
and
right
they walk
here.
in bringing
and
gifts.
Here they are. Well, you can, we've got guests here. Surrender your head. Do we have enough headsets over there for everybody? Go ahead. Go ahead right there. Thank you, guys. We've got headsets. Here's what we got going on. We're at the Indiana State Fair. The Governor's Cup starts at 5 o'clock. That was Tony Renz. We have Jennifer Tuttle and Jessica Barnes joining us now. How are you?
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm John. I'm John right there. Hi there. Better turn the microphone on. Yeah, no, not you. Yeah, there you go, right here. By the way, John again.
Yes, I've met you a lot of times.
Now, and you are
Jen.
Jen, nice to meet you
to
guys.
meet you.
Jessica and Jen, I'm kind of right between them both right here.
Yes.
So we'll start with you, Jessica. This event has grown and grown in stature, as we talked to Tony as well, has it not, over the years?
It has. It's an amazing event in the history of the races here at the State Fairgrounds. And, they had, last week was the 100th anniversary of the Fox Stake. So 100 years of running that race.
So the Assistant Executive Director of the Indiana Horse Racing Commission, correct?
Yes.
What does that entail?
In that role, so we're a regulatory agency. We regulate horse racing in Indiana, but in my specific role, we oversee the breed development programs.
Right.
So we believe horse racing is good for Indiana. It's a good thing for people to breed and race horses because ultimately it trickles down to the state's economy.
Sure, that
and
makes
helps
sense.
it. So breed development programs, our licensing program, occupational license program, the Indiana Horse Racing Commission licenses about 10 to 11,000 people a year. So anybody that is on a racetrack and touches a horse
Sure.
or has anything to do with a horse has to go through a licensing practice. And then I also oversee the equine medical side of things. So, horses are tested. They're under scrutiny. We have our goal as the commission is to uphold racing with the highest level of integrity that we can here in Indiana.
Is this a full-time gig?
For me?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
I have been with the Racing Commission since 1999.
I can't remember last year when we talked about this. What was your previous
I
job
was
title?
the director of racing and breed development. So Jen is my predecessor.
All right. So, and this is Jennifer Tuttle right here,
Yes.
and she is the director of the Racing and Breed Development Indiana Horse Racing Commission. That's a full-time gig too, right?
Yes.
How does one go about getting these gigs? I don't see them posted. I mean, you just have to be a horse lover in general, I guess,
Well,
right?
you have to. So we hire lots of people that did not grow up in the horse racing industry. So people have to love horses because ultimately anybody involved in this industry loves horses. So, a lot of people get agribusiness degrees from Purdue. We have a lot of Purdue grads on our team, which I'm an IU grad, so,
No, but I mean, you do have a national championship
yes,
in
we
football.
do.
Yeah.
We do. So we have
and
a
then
lot
the Purdue people had to deal with the new athletic director and saying so. Yeah. But anyway.
But people come to us. Our jobs get posted on the state job bank and stuff, and we hire employees. Jen came to us in another position 6 years ago.
Yeah.
6 years ago. She grew up in a horse racing family, so she came, not the route that most people in our industry do. I came from a horse racing family. Never thought I would work in horse racing, but ended up in it. So, but we have a lot of people on staff that just generally like horses. They show horses or barrel race or something along that lines. And a horse is a horse, and it translates into racing, and we teach them what they need to know about racing.
Jen, what's your job entail?
So what I do is I help organize all the county fairs,
Okay.
and then make sure we have all the officials, everything lined up for those, and those run smoothly.
So do you have to go to all the fairs?
I
too?
do, yes.
Oh, wow, okay.
I do. So I have attended almost all of them.
I was always going to ask this, too, so you've been to each one. Not everyone is a county fair. Some are like 4-H fairs, are they not? Or are they all – because I'm from Greene County, and I thought the Greene County one was just a 4-H fair. I never thought it was a full-blown
not
fair.
all of them are harness racing.
I don't know what that means, but I just always noticed that.
Not all of them have horse racing.
Right.
There's only 9 county fairs that have horse racing left.
Okay, so 9 of those. Do you know them off the top of your head?
I know most of them. Yes, I could probably pull them out.
Let's hear those counties.
All right, you got Corydon, you've got Connorsville, Converse, Shelbyville.
Okay, I'm thinking so Fayette.
Oh.
I'm just going to go with county here. Hold on.
That's a
Miami.
What is Corydon? Is not Jefferson. What is Greg Gracewell is going to be? Harrison. Fayette. Huntington would be Converse, right?
No, Miami.
Miami is Converse?
Yep.
What?
Miami
County Agricultural Association. It's not even a county
I'm
fair.
flunking 4th grade local geography right here. Thanks. Thank you very much. I'm sorry to interrupt you,
You've
Jen.
got Newton County.
Newton.
Which is Kentland.
Kentland.
Frankfort, which is Clinton County.
Yes,
Yep,
Clinton.
County. And then
Elkhart County.
Elkhart. Which is Elkhart?
Goshen.
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 Okay.
And Noble County, which is Kendallville.
Okay. So those are the only ones that still
have harness racing.
Okay. Now, are you trying to grow that, or is it just?
We've got a pretty good circuit with what we have. So, dollars wise, we're not actively trying to grow it, but if somebody was interested, we'd certainly look at it. You have to have a half-mile track. So that's kind of an impediment to some places if you don't have it. So.
All right, that makes a lot of sense.
And they get about 30 days of racing from June
at the county fairs
to August. So that keeps them pretty busy.
That keeps you busy too, right,
Very
Jen?
much so,
right
yes.
Across the board.
Yes.
Jen and Jessica with us here. We got the Governor's Cup that begins at 5 o'clock. We already see people getting out here and being a part of this right now. This is a pretty big deal out here, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And people work hard for this. They start racing in June at the county fairs. They get points at each one that they go to. So they earn their way into the Governor's Cup races. So these horses, it's competitive. So to get into those races, and it's their premier event for the fair program.
Oh, my God. It is a good time. Now, has the weather any impact on
the weather?
Anything
Can be
we've
troublesome.
done? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would like to stay dry here today.
Yes. So
I think we want to stay dry just in general, considering what's transpired in the last week.
Lightning.
But yeah,
we want
lightning is the big
sprinkle a little. That's fine.
Yeah.
We just don't want
We're
lightning.
okay.
That makes.
But it used to be, so they changed this track over a few years ago, and this used to be a clay track.
Okay.
And so if you got any amount of rain, you were done.
I had no
You're
idea
absolutely
that
done.
are there different tracks
Yes,
around the
different
state?
surfaces.
So why is there no consistency with that? Does it not matter?
It does. So you either have all-weather tracks or you have like a clay dirt track.
Gotcha.
So for standardbreds. So you want the places that race consistently and year-round is all-weather tracks. Hoosier Park has an all-weather track. So this always used to be a clay track here, and they made the decision a few years ago because of horsemen training here, because people aren't here just for the races.
Right.
There's horses that are stabled here all year round. So people use this facility year round to train their racehorses.
Wow.
So they made the decision to make it an all-weather track, and it's been a really good decision for the state fair.
And we see people going around right now. Are they just practicing? Or?
They're going to warm up. So you're going to warm up your horse about an hour and a half before the race. So you're going to
practice. See,
yeah.
I always say practice for anything, and you call that warming up. And soccer, it's called training. Soccer calls it training. I call it practicing. You call it warming up.
It's warming up the day of the race. Throughout, the normal thing that they do daily is training. So they go out and they train, but training then can be broken down to either jogging the horse, which is you're going kind of a slower mile, or you're going a training mile, which training mile you're simulating a race and you're going about the same speed you would during a race. So you're trying to get that horse worked down to where you eventually want it to be in a race.
I'm assuming Jen's been to so many county fairs this summer that you're probably done with the food at the county fairs.
You know, I get that question all the
I
time.
bet.
What do you eat at the fairs? And a lot of times I do not eat anything because I've grown up with the fairs and everything, and you can only have so many corn dogs. And,
So many corn dogs. I think somebody told me there's a corn dog flavored beer.
Yes,
out here.
I've heard that.
There's
I've
zero
heard that.
way in the world I'm drinking that. What a corn dog? How would you have a corn dog flavored beer? Does it talk like you get the hot dog flavor in there too?
I don't know.
That water? I don't know. It doesn't sound.
That doesn't sound great,
No,
does it? I'm not selling the hot dog flavored beers out here by any stretch. I don't think. All right, so this is the culmination starting at 5 o'clock.
Yes.
All right.
8 races. They're all Governor's Cup championships. They're all either 2-year-old or 3-year-old races. And we have a equal amount of trotters and pacers. So
I'm learning as we go along.
you know the
right
difference
here,
between
too.
a trotter and a pacer?
You better tell me because I
You
sure as hell
better?
don't. Yeah.
So pacers, both sides of their legs on one side move at the same time. So your right front and your left front are going to go forward at the same time, and then the opposite. So they're going to move that way. A trot is a diagonal gait, so you're going to go opposite. So your right front is going to move at the same time as your left hind leg is going to move forward. So sidewinders. Trotters typically wear hobbles. So if you see a horse warming up and it's got these loops around their legs, that keeps them on gait. That helps them stay on gait. So
I would not have known that.
yes, trot is the more natural gait, but typically, and a horse is usually bred to be a trotter or a pacer. You sometimes get a little bit of crossover, but it's usually like your bloodline, you're going to be a trotter or a pacer. So.
All right. Well, I can't wait for this to take place.
So that's a trotter that just went past us.
I've been to, obviously, Hoosier Park before and seen it, but I don't know if I've ever really truly known it. I've actually been riding with one, too,
yes, that's
which
exciting.
is quite the experience. But
they get going pretty fast.
I don't know if I knew the background of it right there. So,
yeah.
Jessica Barnes, the Assistant Executive Director, the Indiana Horse Racing Commission.
Yes.
And you have her former title, right,
yes,
Jennifer? Jennifer Tuttle right here is the Assistant Executive Director of the Indiana Horse Racing.
No, Director.
Yes.
Racing,
Director. Did I
racing
say
a breed.
director?
Yeah, you said. I think you gave her my title.
Did I really?
Yes, you
Well,
did.
let's all
That's okay.
share the
I
title.
don't want that one.
We
yet.
all work together.
We just all work together
we
right here.
all work together.
Hey,
so.
you guys are awesome. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
clarifying
Thank you
all
for
this
having us.
because I don't know a lot about it. So.
Well, we're glad to have you out here, and we'll continue to have you out here each year if
and
you'll
then
come.
I will say this. I have learned a lot from Tony Renz.
Tony's great.
Yes, Tony.
Tony's great.
And I know you guys are fortunate to be around that dude every day. He is multifaceted, too, which is also good.
Yes.
Good to see you, Jessica.
You too. Thank
Jennifer,
you.
good to see you. Good to meet
Nice
you, too.
to meet you as well.
All right, hey, we're live at the Indiana State Fair. We shall return coming up, and we'll get more into the Tyler Warren. I'm going to try to get Tyler Warren in an update from Tyler Warren out of Westfield a little bit earlier today. He goes down in that workout, that practice in Westfield, the drop light a little bit earlier today with what was reported as a groin injury. We'll get the latest on his status. DJ Giddens as well coming up. Mentioned John Nolan with the Fever. Fever, a road winner last night, and continue to pour it on offensively. John joins us in the 5 o'clock hour. And because AAA is so significant here at the Indiana State Fair, my good friend, the Prez, Matt Goins, has offered up concert tickets. I'll tell you what that show is coming up. And we also have a show at Everwise, Kansas and Deep Purple tickets to give away for next Monday. Obviously, stay right there. We'll come back with you, the latest on that and then some. And a significant injury, by the way, within the AFC South that involves the Houston Texans and their wide receivers. That also coming up. Stay right there. It's 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. weight loss, they will keep you goal-oriented, which is what matters the most right there. To reach those goals, to be able to do things you once did that you've been compromised in trying to do, or to feel better, to be more healthy. It's all happening at Premier Weight Loss, and it can happen to you as well. I'm telling you, it's been a life changer for me. Last time I weighed this amount, I was an 8th grader. 1984. It was a good year, too. 1984, and I cannot thank my friends at Premier Weight Loss, especially in terms of my health, enough for getting me on the track in which I wanted. They helped me out. I worked alongside, but the help were thanks to Premier Weight Loss. You can get started today, too. That's PWLindy.com.
The Ride with JMV.
It's called Sex Panther by Odeon. It's illegal in 9 countries.
It's quite pungent. It stings the nostrils.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
So, back at the Indiana State Fair, the Governor's Cup gets started here at 5 o'clock. Jennifer and Jessica just with us. Tony Renz a little bit earlier, too. John Nolan, the voice of the Fever, is going to join us coming up at the 5 o'clock hour. Fever on the road to Dallas now. A quote or two from Sophie Cunningham we'll get to. She had 13 last night. And the Fever getting past Toronto on the road with another incredible offensive effort. We will check the condition of Kelsey Mitchell as well, who's had a similar situation, quote, getting overheated in a game a year ago, if you remember. We'll get back to that coming up a little bit later on. Here's the latest, by the way. Colts tight end Tyler Warren. They've got the get-togethers before they play preseason game 2 coming up on Saturday against Atlanta. I'll be up there tomorrow in Westfield, the Drop Light, for the second of a pair of tandem get-togethers with the Atlanta Falcons. I'll be up there with DeForest Buckner tomorrow. I'm going to try my damnedest to get Keenan Allen on the show tomorrow as well tomorrow was going to be his first day of practice after he officially signed today with the Colts. So we shall see about that. But the story today was tight end Tyler Warren leaving practice. It was an apparent groin injury. He is now back, according to Stephen Holder of ESPN, with his teammates on the sideline, still in uniform, no helmet, which obviously his day is over. But that is a story with a groin situation, of which we shall continue to follow. Meantime, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, you know him very well, the actor, the comedian. He's been a part of this show in the past. He's been in Indy in the past. And he's going to be here coming up this weekend at Helium Comedy Club. Anchorman, both Anchorman efforts and a variety of films. David Kechter, who is kind enough to join us now, is going to be in Indy this weekend. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, joining us here on the ride with me, JMV. Hey, David, welcome back to Indianapolis this weekend. I'm assuming you'll be here at some point, my friend. It's great to have you back on the show. How are you?
Champ here. I'm all about having fun. You know, get a couple cocktails in me. Set a fire in someone's kitchen. Head down to SeaWorld, take my pants off. I'm well, but you and I just had a snafu for about a half an hour. Recently, my computer got wet, so the keyboard's not working. Then yesterday, I was doing a podcast, and I had just set my phone up on a stick or whatever they are, and they asked that I turn it sideways. And it wasn't doing it because I didn't realize I did that on the face of it. So I have these people guiding through all the settings, and someone suggested something I don't even know what it was, but it took over my phone.
That's okay, man. Listen, we know you're always good for it right here. I was hoping you were going to go with some barbecue and some sex, but you went the other direction right there. That's good. That's okay, though.
That's a different one, sir. This is you, me, and you. What do you feel we go on a date? Have some chicken, maybe some sex. You know, see what happens.
Oh, yeah, you go the chicken. It's not barbecue. It's chicken. See,
well, that's a different movie.
Yeah, you still have the lines down, man. I forgot the lines. See, I would be problematic trying to be an actor. I would have to call for my lines all the time. I mean, all the time.
Well, it all has to do with desire.
Yeah.
You want to be an actor?
No, I don't think I could do it. It's weird. I have these really strange kind of mannerisms when I get on camera that I don't notice, like kind of herky-jerky motions, and I don't know what that's about. I guess it's just me in general. I don't think I could ever be coached out of that.
What I heard you say was you weren't conforming to other people's norms, and you just were being you, and somebody was like, oh, you can't do that. Yes, you can. It's you. But it also, if it's not a passion, it's okay. Don't do it.
No, well, it would be fun as hell and a passion. My problem is because I'm assuming when you're in front of the camera, you are taught to act like the camera isn't there. And I've tried that. I've tried that from the Brady Bunch and, the whole everybody in their underwear scenario to acting like the camera's not there. But I always end up with my mannerisms, David, acting like the camera's there. I can't, again, be coached out of it. I don't think I'd be a good actor.
You keep looking at the camera.
Yeah. I mean, I have one in front of me. Like everywhere I go now in the world, there's a camera on all of us now. And I can't get around that. I think that'd be problematic for me.
Hey, that might make you a special individual.
Yeah.
You're not conforming to what everyone else is doing. You're a different path.
Yeah. It's weird because you and I both are from an era in which we didn't have to worry about cameras like we do today, too.
It's terrible. But there's not one way to do things.
No,
there's
that's entirely true right there. Yeah, there is. I was going to ask you this. This is David Kechter. He's going to be in town this weekend, the actor-comedian at Helium Comedy Club. I would invite you. He's a great dude to go out and see him.
Great.
Yeah,
I
wanted to ask you this. Second city in Chicago, and with that, and I think, what's the other place? The Olympic comedy group that you were a part of? Yeah. How much of that sets you up to get you to where you are today, David?
All of it. It's 100% responsible for my success. I happen to be in Chicago, so you think of it this way. When I'm 13, SNL's on. I'm from a town of 2,000 people. My parents didn't like any edgy TV, so I made the decision in my mind, I'm going to be on SNL. And do you know who I told? No one. I didn't tell anyone. I kept it. No, I didn't know how to go there. There's no internet. There's no books. So by the time I was in college, all the books about backstage at SNL, the John Belushi book came out. Then I went, oh, they all went to Second City. How do you do that? So me and a buddy went up to Chicago, saw a show. Now here's how tipped I am. Back then they had comment cards to give the address. So I had with me a golf pen and a matchbook. So I'm going down these stairs in this poster, and I keep looking up at it, and I'm surreptitiously writing down the number. But because I'm from a small town, I'm expecting someone to tap me on the shoulder and go, why are you writing that down? You know what I mean?
But nobody did.
Because
nobody.
No, of course they didn't. I allowed my fear to rule that moment. Because I was trying to conform to what I thought people's norms were. And you know what I should have said? I didn't have that language then. You count 3 seconds. Look at them. But don't say anything. Then they'll ask you again. And they'll say, why are you asking? I don't have to explain myself.
I'm trying to learn this, David, right now. This is a hell of a learning experience for me right here.
You develop small habits. Small habits.
Yeah. That is so true. I think that's part of it too. I'm a very high energy guy, so I go at it pretty hard. And sometimes I feel like when I talk over people, that's part of the reason why. So taking a breath and a pause, it would be good.
We do the same thing. So we have to write down the things that we feel would make us better soldiers or humans in the conversation. Because that is breaking the norm and the barrier. That's very frustrating. So we have to remind ourselves, what I'm going to do today is pause often. And I'm going to be you've heard of the Stoics? Marcus Aurelius?
Huh. Oh,
the
yeah.
Stoics
Okay.
If you look, the 7 most important principles of the Stoics, you'll have that. One of the biggest ones is never be overheard complaining to yourself or anyone else. Get that habit. And for you and me, it's this. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You know what that is?
Yeah. What is that?
Listen more than you talk.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's where this stems from. You and I are both bright, but we grew up in a childhood where we didn't conform to the norms, and so they thought, well, we're not doing it the way that we should, so he's a problem, right? And so we tried to participate in the way they do it. And it's confusing for us because that's not the way we do it. So now what we do is you do these habits. If I'll ask, let's say you had ice cream late at night last night, right? And I go, why'd you do that?
Right.
Why'd you do that? Is it your responsibility to explain yourself? Do it to me.
Yes.
Oh, I had a bowl of ice cream last night.
Well,
no, do it to me.
Why'd you have a bowl of ice cream? Why'd you have a bowl of ice cream last night?
In my head, I'm thinking 1, 2, 3. Why are you asking?
See, the problem I have with this, David, is like, and I do radio, and we're told that dead air is a bad thing. So I have to fill up 3 hours of what I feel is always talking. And I think sometimes that could be viewed as a detriment in regular society or in the form in which you're talking about in acting. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah. That doesn't work there because that's a different craft. So it doesn't apply to your job. But a little thing you can do is someone wants you to engage in your thought process of something you just said. Or you can go, what I heard you just say was, why did they go off and do that? Is that correct? Why are you asking?
Right. Yeah. All right.
What would you like to
that's a
talk
hell of an
about next?
exercise. That's a hell of
It's
an
a habit.
exercise you presented to me right here. It's a habit,
It's
according to David Keckner, right there.
Yes. And for you and me, it's a real challenge.
Yeah. It's an exceptional challenge to me. Now, are you a sports fan? You were as champ. I know you're a sports guy. Are you a sports fan in general? And I'm assuming a Kansas City Chiefs guy.
Yeah, I'm a big football guy. My boys like the NBA. And, I'm from a small town in Tipton. We didn't get any hockey games. I didn't see hockey until I moved to Chicago. And heck, I was about to curse. I was 24.
Huh.
So, it didn't hit me. It's like I had football and I just wasn't interested. But I know people that love hockey are like, it's the greatest. It's the fastest sport there is, except for NASCAR, of course.
I consider this, that you're from Tipton, Missouri, and I figured you were a Chiefs fan, considering Paul Rudd, big Chiefs fan, Jason Sudeikis, big Chiefs fan, and I felt maybe you fell into that particular football category.
I've been a Chiefs fan since I was 10. My older cousins were football fans. We're in my grandmother's room, living room. It is the longest football game in history. I think it might be surpassed now. It's Miami versus Kansas City. There's 5 seconds left. It's the Dolphins. I think it is the undefeated season, and so we're gonna win. It's the longest football game in history. Eddie Podolak had 428 all-purpose yards because he ran back punts and he ran back kickoffs, and he was a slot back and he was a receiver. 428 all-purpose yards. Anyway, so I was sitting there at 10 with my older cousins. Did you remember, I don't know if you had older cousins, there's that thing like, I want to hang out with the old boys. They're our blood. So it felt really good. And so I've been a Chiefs fan since I was 10. I waited 50 years for a Super Bowl, so I don't want to hear any belly aching from anybody out there. Nobody started hating the Patriots until they won their 9th Super Bowl.
Hey, David, that's what happens, though, when you're successful. Everybody hates you. The Colts had that with Peyton Manning here. They were so successful, he was on all the commercials, and then they became a hated team because of that. That's what comes with success.
Right. So, rather than be arguing, I would say, I would identify the emotion. You sound pretty upset about this.
I'm not. I'm far from it. No, I was just trying to dive into your fandom right there. Oh,
not you, but you presented to me a particular problem I'd suffer from.
Are you trying to teach me something again, David?
I'm trying to avail you to habits that relieve us from the way we interact with people that frustrates them.
Unfortunately, I think I'm very.
We have a thought. We're the same girl. You and I are the same girl. So our mind is white hot. It's always going white hot. And so there's our software, it just loads and goes. Our delivery system's bad. So it loads up, and when we have a thought about something we just heard, we feel compelled to say something. And that's frustrating to people. Because our minds are trying to figure out what you said, usually in a definition, right? So I understand it for me.
Hey, David. Hold the phone there 1 second. We got the national anthem playing right here. Let's let this play, and I'll get right back to you. Okay? Hold on 1 second.
Yeah,
Give me
put my hat on.
15-second count. Thank you, buddy. Go ahead. There you go. That's our national anthem at the Indiana State Fair. David Kechter rejoins us. Thanks for doing that. I always feel very uncomfortable talking over the national anthem, David. I hope you understand.
So I understand. There are people that are really bothered that you're talking over it. I get it. 100% respect.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Hey, I do have to run, but Helium Comedy Club at Indy this weekend. I want to get you people down there.
Yes. Now, here's the thing. I saw a bunch of stuff online. People are worried that George Lopez is canceled. I don't think so. I'm going to do early shows. I was supposed to be in New Jersey this week, but there was a problem with the venue. So Helium was kind enough to give me the early weekend shows. I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing George is going to still do his set.
Well, I got you covered. I'm going to send people down to see, and they're going to ask you about your techniques that you're trying to teach me here, okay?
Okay. Now, do you find yourself always trying to teach people stuff?
I don't. I can't teach anybody anything, buddy, to be honest. That's the last thing I could do.
Yeah, I'm going to fix it. You know what you ought to do? And then you go, did I ask you? It's better for us to identify their frustration, and then they feel heard.
David Kechter, the technique. I'm trying to be taught right here. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group Highline Helium Comedy Club this weekend. Hey, David, thanks for getting back in with us. I appreciate it.
Brother, I applaud you. And tell the listeners, I'm not going to be giving my philosophical treatise on how to communicate. That'll be a TED Talk. I love you. Thank you so much. God bless you guys.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you very much. David Kechter right there in what was just, without a doubt, one of the most awkwardly odd conversations I've ever been a part of in my life. I don't even know where to go.
Can we hit a break, John?
That was the oddest thing that I've ever been a part of right there. I've been doing this for the better part myself for 21 years now, 22 years. And he's been on before. Nothing ever like that.
Hey,
and I don't even know where to begin.
Can we?
I'll be honest with you. I don't know what he was talking about half the time.
All right, can we break this down to the other side quick? Because I have a lot that I want to say, and I can't believe what I just listened to.
Did I miss something here?
No.
All right, quick break. We'll come back. I don't think I've ever been a part of anything like that before on this show. David Kechter, the actor comedian, State Fair. Quick break. We'll see if you guys can figure it out for me next. Hey, I'm John, and this is Big Red Liquors, powers the JMV Takeover every Saturday night on B105.7. 100-plus locations, state of Indiana. And if I were Neil One right now, I would probably be chugging a bunch of bottles. I guarantee you that. And we'll start with Evan Williams, which brings us live to you coming up on Friday with Brent Halverson, obviously, and the brands under the Heaven Hill umbrella. Great deals on that and more right now you're going to be able to find at Big Red Liquors. Powers the JMV Takeover every Saturday night. You can find that on B105.7. And to find the location nearest you, BigRedLiquors.com. Hey, John here for the Low T Center. Low T Center, if you're going through the month of August, it's been hot, and maybe the reason why you feel worn down is not that of the heat. It could be your low testosterone. Hey, go with the experts in the field right now, the Low T Center, and book a free testosterone test to get your consultation from a licensed provider specializing in testosterone replacement therapy. Explore the range of peptides and even get a jump on that late summer build right now with GLP-1s. The Low T Center, #1 name in TRT since 2009, and it's for a reason. The absolute best at what they do. Again, fixmylowt.com to schedule your free testosterone test today. Fixmylowt.com.
The Ride with JMV.
I don't understand a word you just said.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
I have no idea what just happened. If somebody could size that conversation up, I'm not mad because it's not like it's fine. I just don't know with David Koechner what just took place. And you guys don't have any idea either, evidently, at 317-239-1070 or at JMV 1070. You guys don't have any idea. I would suggest this. Go to Helium this weekend, see David Koechner, the actor-comedian from Anchorman, and then ask him what just went, because I don't know. And then the national anthem playing in the middle of it was just something that I've done this again for 22 years, and I've been put in a lot of different situations. That was a first, and you don't often get a lot of firsts when you do it as long as I've done this. That was a first right there. So if anybody can figure it out, if anybody has an idea, I'm not mad. Again, I'm not mad at it whatsoever. I just need to try to maybe a little bit better understand what I just went through. Just out of curiosity. All right, quick break. We'll come back. We got John Nolan coming up, the voice of the Fever, and a lot more from the Indiana State Fair. And the Governor's Cup is underway at 5 o'clock. And if you have any idea what clearly I do not know, you can help us out next. 93.5, 107.5, The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
I got nowhere else to go.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Misunderstanding. Like people were saying that David Koechner, Bill G said, was he purposely being a jackass? He wasn't. He wasn't at all. He was trying to be fun. Now, I will say this, that the delay with wherever he was, and if you guys could tell, I was purposely trying to give him some space in the delay. I just didn't know what he was talking about. And I realized at the beginning he was trying to put me through an acting exercise. And that's why I explained to him, I don't have, and I always feel like I need to be filling up space, so I don't pause too much. And it went completely off the rails. Not in I can't say it wasn't in a bad way. It wasn't in a mean-spirited way. And I like the dude a great deal, and I want you to go to Helium to see him. If for nothing else this weekend, when you see David Koechner at Helium Comedy Club downtown, say, so what was all that about? Because then you can relay that to me, because I have no idea. None. David Koechner, and if you want to double back and listen to the podcast again, and if you were watching on the YouTube feed, you saw me going, I have no idea where this is going. And by the way, then smack dab in the middle of the most awkward conversation that you will ever hear, and certainly I've ever been a part of on this show, the national anthem played here. And, hey, Caleb, I had to tell him to be quiet.
Hey, and,
so the
and
national anthem played, and he did it. He did it. He didn't say anything.
That was the one thing maybe in the world that could stop that train from moving, and it was the national anthem.
God. And you know what? He didn't say anything during it either. It was. And here's what's going to happen. Like, nobody's going to like it. Nobody's going to like it for the reasons why you should like it. But I think it is going to be one of the most memorable conversations that I've ever had here.
It has to be. It's going to live in infamy, man. Like, it's going to go down in history. Where were you during the David Koechner call on the Ride with JMV?
Yeah. And I was, like I said, I wasn't angry. There was no anger on either side. I just didn't know where it was going. And then when the national anthem played in the middle of it, I thought, this is the most appropriate thing of all time. And I go, hey. And then when he came back on, he said, well, I know some people get upset about that. So,
that was
goodness.
just, I mean, pick your favorite moment.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be the anthem, but John, that I don't even know. In the podcast description, I was telling you this off air. I'm just going to put that was one of the strangest interviews this show's ever seen.
Well, and you asked me halfway through if I wanted to pull the plug, and I didn't because I thought there may have been like an end game to what he was doing.
A payoff.
But there wasn't. Yeah, there wasn't. I thought he was going someplace with it, and he didn't. Which it's fine. Again, I want it to be memorable. And it sure as hell going to be memorable right there. That is.
You're like taken aback by now. It's like after the fact, and you're just in shock. I could just tell on your face right now. Like you're kind of just at a loss for words.
It was incredibly weird right there. And Nick Swardson unleashing on the air was similarly memorable. And you know what? I forgot about that. Nick Swardson came on this show once, and he was comparable to that. That is exactly right. And, Rick, I completely forgot about Nick Swardson being on this show once upon a time, and it was kind of like that. I just think there's sometimes where there's a bit of delay and it was confusing. I just think that was something he was trying to have fun with. It was weird, though. It really was. So if you have any ideas, please let me know. I was going to get into, joking around about the Penn State cocaine ring and the fraternity house and all that. But, once we got started down that path, I thought, maybe I should not go there. And evidently I did not go there. Hey, by the way, speaking of going there, go see him and ask him for yourself what that conversation was all about. He's at Helium Comedy Club this weekend. That is David Koechner. But seriously, Rick, the Nick Swardson conversation of years ago was very similar. Yeah, it was. It was very awkward. Yeah, it was close to really bad awkward in spots, I think, Caleb. A little bit right there.
I thought the most when I knew it was off the rails, the moment I knew there was no coming back is when he told you to say something, you said it, and then he was like, so why'd you say that? At that point, I was like, this has gotten to a place that I don't even begin to understand.
Great. The exercise is what I was going through with David Koechner a little bit earlier, and we're at the State Fair. And the Governor's Cup races, they're officially underway. Tony Renz is going to join us coming up in a minute. We got John Nolan, the voice of the Fever. Fever, a winner over Toronto last night. John joins us at the bottom of the hour. Latest on Tyler Warren right now. So he goes down in practice an hour ago, clutching the groin, which I'm glad now I did not bring up in our conversation with David Koechner. Clutching his groin. But I will say this. Stephen Holder had him back on the sideline, still in uniform, but holding his helmet, not participating. Now, you don't want to see Tyler Warren is one of those. You don't want to see anybody injured. This team can't deal with really anything, but you sure as hell cannot deal with that. Now, on the other side, Keenan Allen officially signed today. Keenan Allen will start practice coming up tomorrow. I'll be up there coming up tomorrow, hopefully with a hell of a lot less awkward conversation. See, a lot of you are bringing up the Chris Ballard conversation I had a couple of years back at the Combine downtown, but that was just awkward because he doesn't like me. That wasn't awkward for any other reason other than that. This was awkward for reasons that aren't close. But I agree with what you're saying. JMV, this is from Rex. He came on to promote his show. It backfired, and I would not go because he was either drunk or high. I don't think it was either, Rex. I don't want to persuade you not to go with that. I want you to go because I met him before. He's a great dude. This was just a little bit awkward. Actually, it was a lot awkward. Tyler Warren, a little bit earlier with that injury. I mentioned, too, DJ Giddens, I said this a little bit earlier, had been battling a hamstring injury in camp so far. He got out there with individual drills today, then evidently had some sort of aggravation and did not take place in the team portion. So that is going to be a situation to watch. And by the way, too, if you want to double back to something that we talked about yesterday, really at both those positions, tied in with Tyler Warren and DJ Giddens at the running back position, and how Rick Venturi broke that down. Please, by all means, double back to that from yesterday in our conversation with Rick at 1075thefan.com and what he has liked so far about both of those positions. But needless to say, there is zero way in the world this team can lose an impactful player for any amount of time, one like Tyler Warren. When you think about Tyler Warren, he's going to be used in a great number of gadgetry type of offensive plays. We'll see. I thought Stephen Holder kind of broke it down in how he described him coming back to the sideline. That should, in fact, make you feel a little bit better. But that is certainly a story that we are going to follow over the course of the rest of the afternoon. And then when we're up there live at Droplight, Grant Park, coming up tomorrow in Westfield, with I know for sure DeForest Buckner joining us. Tony Renz rejoins us right now as well. So the Governor's Cup is officially underway now.
It is. And you were talking to Rick Uppel, the announcer.
Yep.
And I meant to point this out. That last race, the 3-horse, Slick as Silk.
I like it.
And 4, Sassy Cassie. I want you to say those back to back about
Slick
3 times.
as Silk and Sassy Cassie. That would be tough. That would be a tongue twister.
Sassy Cassie did win that first race, and that's a young man, Kevin Lambright. His wife is the trainer. Just had a baby not too long ago, and just a real good story right there. So happy to see them win that.
How many of these races do we have going on? That was just the first.
That was the first of 8. So now you've got the 2-year-old Colt Pace coming up next, and that looks to be a real nice race also. You've got a couple heavy hitters in that race, so that's going to be a nice, exciting race there. And then we'll continue with a couple more 2-year-olds, and then we go to the 3-year-old series.
So this is something that you guys do yearly. Again, explain to the folks out there how all this transpires, and then how, I guess, the owners and those breeders get to this point.
So it really all starts at the breeding level, and probably in North America, some of the top breeding is done up in northern Indiana, up the Shipshewana area, Middlebury area. That's where the breeding starts. They'll have the foals. They'll bring them down as yearlings in October. There's a yearling sale that's held out here at the State Fairgrounds every October. It's about mid-October. I think this year is October 14th, 15th. We'll sell about 600-700 yearlings. The trainers take them back, start prepping them, get them ready to become racehorses. They'll start racing the very first part of June. June the 1st is when the 2-year-olds begin to race. These horses here started at the county fair level. They began at Converse June 3rd. We've got 9 sites that we race at over the county fair circuit. They gain points as they go along, first, second, third place. Once you get up to this past week, you add all the points up and you take the top horses and you put them in here and let them compete against each other for $25,000 each on the purse. So if you look at these races here, you're going for $200,000 in purses. Earlier today, we did 8 races. They call them the consolation, so that's the back 8. Those went for $10,000, so you had $80,000. So we almost raced here today for almost $300,000.
Wow, that's great.
Same time, we're racing right now up at Hoosier Park. We started at 5:30 up there. I think I looked at the purses up there tonight. They're going for $275,000 up there. So you're well over $500,000 just in purse structure right now.
That is pretty incredible right here. So you mentioned the race that has been secured here in the state of Indiana here most recently in the last 48 or so hours. What does that entail?
Yes. That we got that late on Friday night last week, that the Hamiltonian Stakes, which has been held at the Meadowlands in New Jersey since 1981, is going to be brought to Indiana, Hoosier Park, 2027 for a 3-year stint. So we'll have it in 27, 8, and 9. That is the biggest race in standardbred in the North America. It'll race for $1 million. Along with that, you have the Hamiltonian Oaks, which that's the same race just for the fillies.
Yeah.
That race, I believe, goes for $500,000. So we're very excited that Indiana is getting the premier race in North America coming to us, and it shows the growth of our program and of the Midwest and of the state of Indiana. And, we couldn't do it without our legislators. Our legislators come in and they support this agribusiness is what this is. It's horse racing, but at the end of the day, it's people out on farms taking care of the equine, people taking care of the hay, believe it or not, shipping the manure. And the manure goes back to the farmers, and that goes to the fields, and that grows all the crops out there that you see in Indiana. So it touches all 92 counties.
Well, and it is something that, at least farming-wise, has been on the decline with the number of farmers we have. So that the agribusiness that you speak of is something that you want to try to grow or regrow, in this case, reestablish to the levels that certainly approaches to where it once was.
Absolutely, because the more that grows, the more jobs there are in the state of Indiana. And our partners over in Illinois, they've not seen such good days. Their legislators did not support that agribusiness, and you're down to one racetrack left in the state of Illinois. And so we see an influx of Illinois residents moving to Indiana because this program is as strong as it is.
Yeah, it is an amazing thing, too. And I've been around this long enough. And Tony Renz joins us again. He'll join us coming up on Friday, too. Our Tavern Tour stop will take us to Taylor's up in Ingalls off of I-69, which is going to be outstanding. But I've been around this and you long enough to know that there has been significant growth since you and I have, become friends and colleagues on the air. Significant enough growth to understand how it's working here.
Oh, absolutely. John, you and I started, I want to say it was probably 2016. We started doing the race of the day, and that whole goal was just to put a live horse race on air, and that ran for a good 10 years. And in between that, Hoosier Park hosted a Breeders' Crown in 2017 for the first time ever. It had not been back to the Midwest since it was at the Red Mile in Lexington.
Yeah.
And then we came back in 20 and did it again in 23. And we're doing this all while watching the Midwest explode between Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky, and the migration from Illinois and now New Jersey coming down here. This is becoming harness racing mecca, and we've just got to make sure we keep up with the programs in Ohio and Kentucky, and not just keep up, but surpass.
Yeah.
We want to stay number one.
How do you do that? You just make people more aware of its presence?
It's making people aware.
Level?
It's making sure our legislators, the new incoming legislators, understand the importance of the program and what protecting. We get about $60 million in purse structure that comes from the two racinos in Anderson and Shelbyville, and we turn that into a $2 billion annual economic impact. What could we do with that if that became $80 million? What can we do with it if it became $100 million? We're showing the return on investment is there.
Yeah. Did you catch David Keckner, who called in a moment ago?
I did catch that. I told you he was a good dude and he'd be memorable.
Yeah, you did. Somebody just this was Anthony. Can we go back and listen? Yes, you can. Caleb, have you put that up there so people can listen?
Do you want me to just
1075thefan.com?
I'll probably just title it David Keckner joins for one of the weirdest interviews in show history. That's what I'll title it
easily. So 1075thefan.com. Anthony says, I feel like he said, let me put my hat on, not let me take my hat off for the national anthem. I could be wrong. That's 100%, Anthony, what he said. Yeah, it's 100% what he said. We're trying to figure out exactly what was going on in that dynamic there.
Does that become a part of your walk-in music when the show begins? Maybe a little snippet from the Dave Keckner?
Well, it was hard to follow, and that's the one thing. It's one thing to have, like, he wasn't. Somebody had mentioned some of the odd interviews that have taken part on this show in the past. Nick Swardson, the actor-comedian, was incredibly odd, and they were probably for similar reasons. Adam Schefter was really odd and awkward because he doesn't like me and I don't like him, and that was bad. But I guess good in a bad way.
Right.
I thought Chris Ballard going back about 3 years, that was odd/awkward because he, like Schefter, doesn't like me. So I think those are common themes right there. But
John,
that was just kind of weird.
Hey,
yes, Caleb.
Can I clipped up the part where he says, can I put my hat on? Can I play this real quick?
So this is, well, I don't want to make fun of the whole thing here. But no, what Anthony asked, because, all right, let me explain the dynamic here. So as we're racing, going race number 2 right now here after 5 o'clock for the Governor's Cup, David Keckner, the actor, was on the show a little bit earlier, last hour, if you missed any of it. He's going to be at Helium Comedy Club this weekend. And part of what was the most incredibly awkward interview of my 22-plus years of doing this was the fact that the national anthem here at the Indiana State Fair played or started right in the middle of it. And, Caleb, this is what transpired. Hold the phone there 1 second. We got the national anthem playing right here. Let's let this play, and I'll get right back to you, okay? Hold on 1 second.
Yeah,
Give me
put my hat on.
15-second count. Thank you, buddy. Go ahead. That was awkward, all right there. That was awkward. Now, the national anthem would have had to have started right center cut or middle of that bad boy.
It's all about timing.
Man. You know, it's funny. The one thing about doing this, as long as I've done it, the ones that are like that are always going to be the most memorable.
Yes.
They are. I mean, we have good ones like, we have good ones with you all the time, and we'll have good ones coming up on Friday when we're at Taylor's. Great ones yesterday with Rick Venturi, who's also great. But, this was going to be memorable for a different reason. But I'm glad that it wasn't contentious. It wasn't argumentative. And it wasn't like the bad interviews in my past always has me probably behaving a little bit like a jackass. And that wasn't the case right there. It was just kind of awkward for awkward sake.
Well, like you said, there was a delay in his also. It sounded like.
Right. That's weird. Now, what happened just before us here? We just race number 2.
That was race
concluded.
number 2. That was 2-year-old Colt Pace. So those are youngsters coming around, but they did really well. 6, J.K. Babar is the one that won that. And I think I heard it was 1:55, which that's pretty darn quick out here.
Can I say, picking them up?
That's picking them up and putting them down.
Right here, too. Hey, we got to hit a break. John Nolan's going to join us coming up on the other side. Remind people about Friday, me and you and Brent.
Friday, 3 to 6 out of Taylor's, right off I-69. I believe that's exit 214 in Ingalls. It's a great place to go. The food is fantastic. The drink is even going to be better. But you got JMV there and Brent Hoverson.
It's going to be a great time.
Oh, my Lord. And it's right down the street from where I live. Oh,
yes.
I'm coming in.
And it is not a new place.
Nope.
But it is an awesome place. And if you know Taylor's, they have a variety. I think they're actually going to pop one open coming up here in Carmel at some point, too, from what I've heard as well. I know Kyle and the gang are awesome at what they do, and that's going to be us coming up on Friday.
Yeah,
Tavern Tour stop at Taylor's. All right, Tony's going to sit tight. We'll come back with him and John Nolan on the other side. I think I'm going to get a live look as well, or in this case, a look and a hear for you from Droplight up in Westfield with Hagan of Fox 59. That latest on Tyler Warren's groin injury, DJ Giddens, his hamstring injury, and that first of 2 get-togethers practice-wise with the Falcons leading up to the preseason Game 2 on Saturday with the Falcons and the Colts. All that and more still to come. Some concert tickets to give away as well. You guys sit tight for that. Don't go anywhere. It's 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Hey, JMV here for Sundown Gardens and Miss M's Home and Garden. Fall is not that far away. Fresh fall shipments, high quality nursery stock that is arriving right now. Plant now to establish roots before the winter and have excellent fall color. Mom's arriving weekly, large selection of sizes and colors along with great fall annuals to make your container look beautiful. Hey, get that jump on fall today and shop the early selection at Sundown Gardens in Westfield, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, or Miss M's Home and Garden, State Road 135 in Bargersville, just south of Whiteland Road. Tell them JMV sent you. Connecticut Water Systems to your home water rescue. All right, you don't have Connecticut? Let's get you on board with Connecticut at Connecticut.com. Sign up and get my friend Joe out there to test your water absolutely free, and then they're going to put together a system that will best benefit your water situation. That is Connecticut Water. And again, nothing is going to be the same. They're going to put something that is exclusive, specific to your needs. That's Connecticut Water Systems. Give them, well, seriously, give them your address. Send them out to your place that free in-home test by doing this. Sign up right now, Connecticut.com.
The Ride with JMV.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, talentless, and I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
Thank you very much, sir.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back to the State Fair. Governor's Cup going on right now. I should mention, too, because there's been a lot of speculation regarding Live Golf and whether or not it will continue after this weekend at Chatham Hills in Westfield. CEO Scott O'Neill confident that Live Golf will continue as it attempts to remake itself amid present financial hurdles and no funding from the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia beyond this season. Now, it is in Westfield, as I mentioned, coming up later on this week. And one of the reasons why people thought it was all going to fall apart is because it had scheduled a concert that it had canceled. But their CEO suggests he is confident that it continues. He said, "Don't bet against us." I would bet against it. Firmly bet against it. I mentioned, too, we'll get to Matt Taylor coming up at the top of the hour. Our Colts update is going to be live today with me and the voice of the Colts, Matt Taylor. From the Texans camp today, Jaden Higgins torn ACL. According to a report, he would be out for the season. So, obviously, that is not good for the wide receiving core down in Houston. And we'll get the latest on the groin injury to Tyler Warren, the Colts tight end up at Colts camp a little bit earlier today, that of DJ Giddens too. That and more coming up Tony Renz, one final time. I know you're going to bail here. So the Governor's Cup continues here at the State Fair, and you and I and Brent coming up on Friday.
Friday at Taylor's up in Ingalls. Looking forward to that. We've got racing tonight at Hoosier Park, tomorrow night at Hoosier Park, Friday and Saturday. We're in the middle of the championship meet. Yesterday was day 100 of a 160-day meet. Come out and see us. Got a lot of good racing coming up.
Friday, my brother. I can't wait for it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, pal.
Hey, thank you guys, John.
Tony Renz right there. He rejoins Brent Holverson and I coming up on Friday. Meantime, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, he is the voice of the Fever. Nice win on the road last night in the midst of a road swing, in fact. John Nolan joins us. Hello, John. How are you?
JMV, I am good. I'm joining you from the streets of Dallas, where the Odyssey is continuing for the Fever. If you can't hear me too well, or if you hear too much street noise, let me know. Would have been smart if I had packed the headphones here on this trip outside, but alas, thanks for having me.
Let me tell you this. There's no way in the world this will be as awkward as my conversation with David Koechner, the actor from Anchorman, a little bit earlier. So I think you're all good. You can basically do anything right now, and nothing will be in that category.
Should I start saying whammy or something, though? Talk about how much I love lamps?
Well,
I'm actually in front of a big lamp right now.
Yeah. You can do a lot of things and not get close to the awkwardness of that a little bit earlier. I will go make sure to catch that one on the podcast then. Yeah, we'll have to figure some things out for real. That is John Nolan with us. Hey, first things first, Kelsey Mitchell obviously in the midst of an MVP race right now, and the Fever are playing as well as they have all season, but obviously overheating was a part of what we witnessed last night. Anything latest-wise on the guard of the Fever?
I think the game status report for everyone should be coming out in the next half hour or so. But, yeah, I'm going off of what Coach White told us post-game last night where overheating. If anyone caught on the TV broadcast, I know Caitlin pointed out how warm it was. And this is actually the third time in the last 4 games that the Fever have been playing in a building that was probably hotter than it should have been. But, yeah, optimistic that for Kelsey there won't be any carryover, but we'll get our status report coming up soon.
Let's, John, get into the hotness of the buildings here. Is it because it is packed, or are teams not paying their energy bills to? I mean, we're in a spot to where you have AC. These are state-of-the-art buildings. This is not like the Boston Garden in 1983, so why all the heat?
It's a good question. I'm not typically a conspiracy theory guy, but I'll tell you that in Atlanta on Sunday evening, I actually did hear from facility staff that the air conditioning was malfunctioning. I could tell by their body language that it was a rough day for them, because that was not a preconceived plan to conspire against the Fever. Last night, I don't know, Scotiabank Arena opened in '99. It's kind of a little bit of an outdated building. The Tempo don't normally play there. I guess they don't often. Yeah, they're not usually hosting 19,300 for basketball games in the summer. So I don't know what the issue was there last night. But it is puzzling. Minnesota earlier this month was another one where it felt warmer than it probably should have been.
That's John Nolan, voice of the Fever. So I'll go ahead and attempt a conspiracy theory right here because I like them. I don't often believe in them, but I like to talk about them a great deal. This is a fast-paced offense that everybody defensively would love to slow down. Is this a measure and a means in which you think other teams are on the road for the Fever trying to slow them down offensively?
You know what? I think the WNBA has had enough headlines this year that I won't touch that one. But obviously, it's something that winds up affecting both teams. And so, yeah, going back to that game in Atlanta on Sunday, it seemed like Angel Reese was as winded as anyone with how warm it was. So, no, I don't think that this – but, yeah, to your point, again, as a reminder for folks to appreciate this Fever team, it is an offense like the WNBA has never seen before, averaging better than 96 points a game. No one's ever scored more than 93 a game before. You got Caitlin and Kelsey basically setting new records every time out. So, yeah, teams definitely are trying to figure out a way to slow him down, but no one has really effectively pulled it off yet. Kelsey last night still with 29 points, even as she was limited to 24 minutes.
John, how in the world, though, with facilities, I don't care if it is 20 years or so old. I mean, it's AC. Come on. It's have people standing by. This is a professional league, and it's not like it was back in the day. So that to me is a little bit hard to understand. AC malfunctioning, no AC, not enough, not being used to 19.3 in your building. That is all a little flimsy to me.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm not going to disagree.
Yeah, John Nolan is with us. Unprecedented offensive prowess from this backcourt. And certainly this team offensively playing as well as it has all season long. What has brought all this together?
I'm sorry, JMV. Can you repeat that question?
Yep. What has brought this level of unprecedented offense in the WNBA with this group all together this season?
And a key piece would be the health and continuity. Caitlin, obviously, everyone knows, missed most of last year, and then it was a little bit stop and go the first month or two this season. So I think the fact that they have been able to continue to build. I know when you've had Debbie Antonelli on, she's used the term layering, adding layers to what they're capable of offensively and defensively. And, one of those extra wrinkles, or a couple, ones that stand out on the offensive side, the fact that Aaliyah has turned into a premier shooter, the fact that Caitlin is taking what the defense gives her. So of late, that's been becoming pretty lethal in the mid-range. So just the fact that no one's complacent and continues to add what they're doing, and the fact that Kelsey Mitchell has just become completely unstoppable.
Boy, there's no doubt about that. John Nolan, voice of the Fever, kind enough to join us. He is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. The Fever over Toronto last night, and you get more of the Fever, obviously, and what they've accomplished during this run, too. And I think that the insertion of Timpson into the starting lineup during these times as well, that's so paid off for Stephanie White and company.
Yes, in multiple ways, because obviously KK continues to emerge, and you can just see her starting to gain confidence and be more aggressive and go to the basket with conviction. And then, what she does offensively is just a bonus, because her real value is her rebounding and her defensive versatility, guarding, every player on the other team, point guard through center. And then also give credit to Monique Billings, who's doing a solid job coming off the bench as the backup 5 compared to when she was starting at the 4. And the coaching staff had kind of crunched the numbers and determined that, Monique's, better playing the 5 rather than as the 4 alongside Aaliyah Boston. And, she's been a real professional about the change in her role here at this point in her career. So, credit to everyone from the coaching staff for making the midseason move, and then the way that the players have responded.
So John Nolan, voice of the Fever. Fever back at it. That's coming up tomorrow night. They're on the road in Dallas. And then Saturday, Sunday, back-to-back, 22nd, 23rd at New York, and then at Chicago. We know with that last win over Dallas that the Wings were compromised, without a doubt. Are they going to be healthy coming up tomorrow night, or at least more firing on the cylinders that they normally would like to see?
Yeah, so of note, Jessica Shepard, who has become one of the top forwards in the WNBA, started in the All-Star game. She was out with an ankle injury and missed that game at the Fieldhouse last week, but in their game since then, she returned. Now, some news that actually just broke in the last hour or two is that AZ Fudd, fellow cottage cheese enthusiast for you, JMV,
yes,
the number 1 pick in the draft out of UConn, she has been ruled out for the season with a knee injury. So AZ Fudd, as a rookie, not quite the same impact as Olivia Miles with Minnesota, but Fudd was coming along well. She won the 3-point shooting contest at All-Star Weekend and had turned into a starter for them. So that is a blow for Dallas. They'll obviously continue to be without her then for this game tomorrow. But, I think for the Fever, it's going to be challenging, not only because they're on this arduous road trip. It's a Dallas team that's definitely going to be coming in with some hunger and urgency, as they've been on a skid, but now it'll be their second game with their star Shepard back. So that'll make it tougher for the Fever than it was last week.
And the one thing that I want to see them get better at doing, the Fever still turn the ball over too much.
Yeah. Right, and, Caitlin would admit that last night, and it's basically been a repeating pattern for some of these games where the Fever build a comfortable, 15 or so point lead, and then, it's like they're gracious hosts, and they turn it over a few times in a row, and it's like opening the door to welcome the other team back in. So, I've joked that it's made for some more dramatic finishes, more entertaining broadcasts probably, but, for the sake of the team, that's definitely something they want to rectify. They've shown some progress with that, but last night was a case where it flared again in the third quarter into the fourth.
And how many of those last night were, I would like to call it uncharacteristic, but sometimes it isn't, were completely unforced turnovers, John?
Yeah, Caitlin has a tremendous handle, so you had to kind of do a double take when there was the one time where she dribbled it off of her foot, but again, I think credit to Caitlin for having the mental toughness, and pretty much any time it's come up here where there's been a question about anything, she's been able to address that and improve and get better. Defense, as an example, recently, right? So, I got confidence that in time the turnovers will be cleaned up. Actually going back to that last game against Dallas on Friday, she had 10 assists, only one turnover. I'd say that's a thing. If you can bottle that up, that only ups the odds for the Fever as title contenders.
All right, it's at Dallas coming up tomorrow night. You can catch it right here. John Nolan, the voice of the Fever, on the call. Mick Tidrow has you coming up tomorrow at 7:30. I believe that is a Prime Video game on TV, if you want to find it there. But obviously, we want you to listen right here on the streets of Dallas, Texas. It is the voice of the Fever, John Nolan.
Yes, and stay tuned at Indiana Fever on social media. We're doing what they call some man-on-the-street interviews, although guess what? Credit the folks at Dallas for being smart enough to not be wandering the streets when it's 103 degrees outside here. So our Fever digital crew right now, we're wandering the streets trying to find some basketball fans, but, right now people are either working or somewhere where the air conditioning is working, unlike some of these arenas.
Well, we'll see. Now, you guys are in American Airlines tomorrow night, right? So surely,
yes, because the Wings don't.
That AC is going to work.
Yes, fingers crossed. The Wings don't usually play there this season. They actually are going to move all their games there next year. But moving it to the building where the Mavs and the Stars in the NHL play. So it should be another huge crowd and a fun game, and hopefully a cool.
John, I appreciate you. Yeah,
right.
No doubt.
Thanks,
John,
JMV.
I appreciate you very much. We'll test that conspiracy theory tomorrow night, pal.
All right. Hope this wasn't on the Mount Rushmore of awkward interviews for you.
Nothing's going to compare to it after the day we've had so far, John. Thank you.
All right. Hang in there, man. See ya.
It's John Nolan, the voice of the Fever on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Hey, Caleb, do you believe in the conspiracy theory that the Heat's being turned up to slow them down offensively?
It could. It could be.
That would be the ultimate test right there. State-of-the-art American Airlines Arena, whatever that is, in Dallas right there. The home of the Mavericks and the Stars. There's zero way that the AC is going to be broken and needs repaired, or the stadium is outdated and too crowded and you can't get it cooled down enough with so many people in there, right? That's what, 3? Did he say 3 consecutive times on the road? It's felt like the Heat has been.
Hey, I remember back in I think it was 2014 finals, the Spurs were playing the Heat, and they made LeBron cramp in game 1. So I don't know, man. It could be a thing.
They did make LeBron cramp. That was in San Antonio, right? And it was about 100 and something outside, and they kept the heat up. So how did back in the day, you watch all these Boston Celtics games in the finals, and they're playing the Lakers, for example, and it's 115 in there, and they're still playing, and everything's all right. Weird stuff. It really is. Hey, I've got tickets to give away. Let's do those right now. Kansas and Deep Purple. That show's coming up on Monday at Everwise Amphitheater, downtown Indianapolis. Number 9 on the text line at 317-239-1070. Number 9 on the text line, Deep Purple and Kansas tickets we will give away. And Matt Taylor and I will converse about a lot of things that went down a little bit earlier today. It is the Colts Daily Update with Matt and I coming up at the top of the hour. We're live at the Indiana State Fair on what has been an incredibly enjoyable Governor's Cup so far, but a bit of an awkward day in the 4 o'clock hour on this show. It's all a part of a day's work, no doubt about it. With Caleb, JMV here, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. It's Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st. They were at 37. That's in Fisher, set up and good to go. And my friend Eric Wilson, have you guys checked out the hottest auto manufacturer in the business right now? That is Buick. And I continue to tout this product because it is the best SUV anywhere. The Buick Enclave. Have you checked it out? A variety of styles, something that is going to suit your bank account and your family all at one place. It is one-stop shopping, hassle-free. Just get there and talk to my friend Eric Wilson today and check out their selection with a Buick Enclave. Get behind the wheel, give it a test drive, and tell me I'm crazy. This bad boy is awesome. I promise you and the family will love it. Get a great deal. That's incentives to buy. And the service after the sale like nobody else. Again, hassle-free shopping with Eric Wilson and Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st, State Road 37 in Fishers.
The Ride with JMV.
Well, not really. I felt it on my leg. Come on, I don't want to see it.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Governor's Cup, Indiana State Fair on a Wednesday tomorrow. Drop Light, Westfield, Grand Park, Colts Camp. Day number 2, Falcons and the Colts. DeForest Buckner joins us coming up tomorrow as well. Chris Hagan of Fox 59 is staked out at Drop Light right now, and you had a little bit of drama, I guess, Chris, right? A little bit earlier today with Tyler Warren going down.
Holy jeepers, John. Was that a 9-minute commercial break? What are they paying you over there? Goodness gracious. Yeah.
Hey, we're trying to support everybody, buddy. We want to support everybody in the station, in the building.
Well, just go ahead and Venmo me.
Yes.
Venmo me $20. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Shane Steichen afterwards said it was a groin. I never know how to say that. Growing. But yeah, that's what Tyler is dealing with, and certainly not something you want to see when you think about the injury history this franchise has had. Almost yearly on a yearly basis when you're only one game into the preseason. But Shane didn't seem that concerned, but he always plays the cards pretty close to the vest. So you hope for the best, and you hope he's got enough work already in the preseason and have him 100% healthy for that season opener against the Ravens.
Yeah, that is a have to. That's Chris Hagan of Fox 59 and CBS 4, by the way. Now, doing work up in Westfield at Colts camp where we're going to be coming up tomorrow. No DJ Gittens, the backup running back. He'd had a hamstring issue, went out for individual workouts, did not go out there for the team situation. Anybody else besides he and Warren that have injury concerns after today?
No, that was all that Shane addressed, and he, it's usually a coach will right away. He only answered when asked about certain players, so maybe there's more to it, but that's what he addressed. And it was, I'm sure you've been talking about this already. We've been hearing about this for days, weeks, if not months, about Keenan Allen, but officially in the Horseshoe stable, he was out here today. He talked, and he feels like there's still some tread on the tire, and so do the Colts. So it'll be interesting to see how what puzzle piece that is and what it will mean to the the other members of the receiving corps. When you think about you got Pierce coming back from the surgery, no Pittman, now you got a banged up Tyler Warren, so probably the best time to be getting a veteran guy into the fold right now.
Yeah, then you see, obviously there was an injury down in Houston with a wide receiver too, so you get deeper and deeper and some teams get a little bit compromised out of it, and you want to make sure that you solidify the guy that you trust, and that guy all along, evidently, according to Shane Steichen and Keenan Allen a little bit earlier, who said that was his choice to make and Indy was his destination, that all had a good fit, I guess, all along, Chris.
Well, it's like this. Imagine, 10 years from now, and they say, John's reaching the end of his line to do a show. He needs a co-host, and they called me up. Yeah. And at first I would say, who? Oh, yeah, John. It'd be one of those things. I imagine the relationship is similar. You have a good working relationship. He's going to jump right in. He knows the playbook. He knows Shane. Shane knows what he can do. So I think it'll be a good marriage. And then you add in the fact what a football IQ that Daniel Jones has, and I think this could make for some intriguing things, particularly on third down, third and goal. Situations like that, I don't think you're going to see him be a 1,000-yard receiver like he's done so many times in the past. But last year, he was up near 800 yards receiving, 81 catches. I think he had 4 TDs. He played in a playoff game. So you like to think there's still something there. I know as a player, they always believe there's still something there. But you get him out there and don't count on him to do all the heavy lifting, but count on him in some big moments, and I think that would be the intended result.
We haven't had you on the air. Now you're doing both CBS 4 and Fox 59, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. I've dabbled in CBS 4 over the years since we got that affiliation in 2014, but now full time, as if you were sitting around, if your listeners were thinking, you know what, I need more Hagan. Well, now's your chance. So act now. You'll see me on both sides. CBS, that sports falls at 6:20, and then Fox is at 6:50, so that's no problem. But it gets a little hairy for those late shows. But so far, so good after we said goodbye to Chris Widlick. We do have a new guy on the roster, Mike Lissette. You'll be seeing him some on. But when it comes to, being on both channels every day I'm at work, that'll be me on Fox and CBS.
It's Chris Hagan, Fox 59, CBS 4. I will see you up at Drop Light Grand Park coming up tomorrow for my first appearance up there, so you can join me again.
It'll be your first and last, John. At the end of an era up here. It seems like just yesterday we were saying, wow, this is going to be cool, and now we're saying draw the curtain. So, yeah, let's go out with a bang tomorrow.
We'll do that. Thanks, Chris.
All right, Johnny. See you, bud.
Chris Hagan, CBS 4 and Fox 59, the Tyler Warren, among other situational updates, and that of Keenan Allen as well. On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, we'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side. I'm going to see if I can find – I got some tickets, I think, other tickets I want to give away to Caleb when we come back. And we have Matt Taylor, the Colts Daily Update, with more on Tyler Warren, I'm sure, and more on that final day in Westfield coming up tomorrow with the joint gatherings with the Falcons and the Colts. I will be there. DeForest Buckner is going to be a part of the show. We shall look for you up there. And Matt Taylor, the voice of the Colts, joins us coming up on the other side. Live from the Indiana State Fair, the Governor's Cup on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
You are more reptile than man, George. So low and flat that the foot of man is incapable of crushing you. How dare you?
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
We are back. Indiana State Fair for the Governor's Cup. Down the stretch they come. I don't know what race that it is. Am I better than Rick, who joined us a little bit earlier? So, I'm going to tell you what, people get into this thing out here. No question about that going on here at the Indiana State Fair, the Governor's Cup. A couple of reminders, too. We got coming up on Friday, Taylor's Pub Tavern Tour Stop. Going to be in Ingalls. Me and Tony Renz and Brent Halverson back for that. And we will also tomorrow be for the one and only time and the final time at Drop Light at Grand Park for Colts Camp coming up tomorrow. Final time. So I might have to pour one out coming up tomorrow. Got this reminder too, AAA.com. Up here, where you can go get signed up for AAA. My friend Matt, I've got some tickets I'm going to give away coming up here on the other side. I'm going to let Caleb catch up with some things back there and give some tickets away for a show. But this is a great spot where you can track down our good friends Matt and company at AAA and get yourself signed up for AAA. That is a necessity, no matter what time of year that we're talking about. But certainly as we get back into school, and keep in mind, too, the start of the high school football season officially underway coming up on Friday. We've got so much that is going on. I mentioned tomorrow up in Westfield, the Colts camp for us, and DeForest Buckner is going to be a part of the show tomorrow. But then coming up on Friday, when we're up in Ingalls at Taylor's Pub, we get you set for preseason game number 2 with the Falcons and the Colts. That's at Lucas Oil Stadium. Touchdown Town for us will be underway, I believe, officially at 10 a.m. coming up on Saturday morning at Touchdown Town as a part of the Colts pregame huddle. But think about that, too. You got the Fever coming up tomorrow night in Dallas. John Nolan joined us a little bit earlier. That podcast at 1075thefan.com. And then you got the Colts and the Falcons coming up on Saturday. You got the Fever back at it, I believe, later on Saturday night on the road. The third of 4 on the road. That is in New York. And then they go back-to-back. They're going to finish up the road trip in Chicago coming up on Sunday. There is so much going on. And then, as I mentioned, too, you get started with high school football coming up on Friday night. And if you look across the state of Indiana, there are some incredible matchups across the board you're going to find. Brownsburg, LN, and others. That is all to start out your high school football season coming up on Friday night. Bob Lovell, per usual, will join us every Friday. Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, per usual, will join us every Friday right here on the Fan Show. And then in the not-so-distant future after Labor Day and the Labor Day weekend bender at Mystic Waters Campground with Evan Williams, we get started for real. Our locks and our shots. Yet another year with Brent Halverson every Thursday, and Bud Light Blue Fridays, where we are giving away Colts tickets once again with Zinc and our friends at a variety of places around Indianapolis, state of Indiana. All that and more just about set to get started. In fact, I can be honest with you, I miss it, and I miss it a great deal. It will be back coming up after Labor Day and the Labor Day weekend bender. Hey, speaking of that, Matt Taylor and I are going to do, and I hope you understand this, Dev, I got to do the Colts Daily Update with Matt coming up here after this. I probably should have told you that, shouldn't I? But hopefully you're okay with that. Dev says, hey, man, I'll keep you plugged in as long as you need. We'll appreciate that. Matt and I are going to combo this thing up coming up when we end the show here and tell you what's been happening around there. And it was a very, I don't want to say dramatic or make too much out of it, eventful afternoon at Drop Light at Grand Park. Injury-wise, the Tyler Warren groin injury situation is going to be certainly worthy to follow, without question. But from what we gather, it sounds like everything is going to be okay. You just don't know how much this is going to compromise him for the rest of training camp. And listen, I know when I talk about injuries with you, the Colts fans out there, and anytime anybody says, hey, don't worry about it, that probably escalates your level of worry, because if there is anything that you understand as a Colts fan, you always worry about injuries. There's always something to worry about, and it always seems like it is a little bit worse than what you were led to believe in the early stages. So we will follow this story for real. Matt and I had that conversation coming up at the top of the hour, and as of yesterday it was reported, and today it was etched in stone, placed in concrete. It is the veteran wide receiver Keenan Allen joining the Colts on a one-year deal, and with a past relationship with Shane Steichen really does make all the sense in the world. Keenan Allen's first practice is going to be coming up tomorrow. It'd be great, along with DeForest Buckner, if we can catch up with him. We'll give that the old try and see what happens coming up tomorrow in Westfield. But Keenan Allen, that was made official a little bit earlier today as he met for the first time with the assembled local media. All right, Caleb Zuber is back at the studio. I know we have a couple of more minutes and a little bit of what we do. Normally this is anything goes, but we're not going to do the anything goes portions of it because I think we already did that in the 4 o'clock hour a little bit earlier. With the response to the David Koechner interview that we had. David Koechner, of course, you go back to Anchorman 2, Saturday Night Live, really good dude. Mm-hmm. He is a comedian and an actor, had what has been described as, how should I put it? I'll say unique. Most people suggest an incredibly awkward interview, and the most awkward that I've had ever. And I go through the Nick Swardson, which, as Anthony reminded me earlier, Nick Swardson, the actor-comedian, that was, at the time, a little bit awkward. This is more awkward than that. The other two that I point out, Adam Schefter and Chris Ballard, you can just tell those guys don't like me. So that's a little bit different. But this was a case of heavy uniqueness or awkwardness earlier today.
What a day, man. I can't. That was something that I've never seen before.
Yeah, awkward and unique with David Koechner. He's going to be at Helium Comedy Club this weekend. Ask him about that if you go down and check him out. More to come. We got the Colts Daily. Voice of the Colts, Matt Taylor, and I converse. That's next. 93.5, 107.5, The Fan.